let's jump into the topic. Topic is public education failing black students. So that's what we're here to discuss.
Yo, how many black people own houses, and you tell me if we failing?
Okay, we got you.
Be patient, bro.
I got you.
Hey, yo, man.
Be patient.
I'm here right now.
All right.
I'm with it, though.
Wait till question 1, though, bro.
I'm with it, yo. So yeah, let's start off with question 1. Let's just get right to it. So 26 schools in Boston are declared underperforming by the state of Massachusetts due to low standardized test scores. What is the cause for these schools to underperform?
Hey, yo, we need some clarification. What
is it? Funding, teachers, curriculum?
Hold on. 26 schools. What level? High school, middle school, elementary. Who's failing?
Who's failing?
Oh, so when I looked it up, it was actually a number of middle schools and high schools.
All right. So middle and high school. Now, can you ask the question again now that my mind is halfway right?
So with middle and high schools in mind, 26 schools in Boston are declared underperforming by the state of Massachusetts due to low standardized test scores. What is the cause for these schools to underperform? Is it funding? Is it the teachers, the curriculum, the parents, poverty? You know what I mean? Is the children? Like, do we know what the cause is? You know?
I always start with...
Let Kev start.
Yo, Super Kev at your service. Yo, we always gotta start with it's the parents, man.
It's the parents. Whoa, you sound like Rome. Yo, conservative motherfucker.
Yo, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Yo, started off with the disrespect early.
I started off with the disrespect. I ain't mean no disrespect.
No disrespect.
All the parents who are involved know I'm not disrespecting them.
What's up with the PTA
However,
meetings?
I will not change my stance. Everything starts and ends with the parents. Because watch this, when we decide to lay down and have children, you know what I'm saying? What are we bringing into this world? So off the rip, it start with the parents. You want to have kids? What do you want to leave behind? If you come from another country, much respect. You know what I mean? A lot of us have parents that come from another country, or we come from other countries ourselves, whatever. But what are you leaving for your children? Right? So now you come to this country, you want to work 2 jobs, you ain't there to check your kids' homework. So now we have another problem. Now your kids is, how you know how they did their homework? They might have cheated, they might have stole it, they might have found it on the teacher's desk the night before, looked up the answers in the back of the book. Now they got the answers the next day, but they don't know nothing, but they got good grades. Okay? So it starts with the parents, because all we care about as parents is make sure your kids have good grades, but are we caring that they are learning something? If you start talking about learning versus good grades, those do not always match.
Yo, shout out to my nigga, dog. I hear you.
All right, I can't take all this shit. Y'all gotta wait.
You disagree?
Y'all gotta wait.
I think there's a lot that goes into
I'm sure
that,
it's like multifaceted, or I don't even know if that's the right word.
Multifaceted. Yo, because you can say it's a bunch of these things that go into it, right? Like, yo,
but pick one, that's what we're here for.
Well, I don't know. Are you saying is it and or? All right, so
we just want to know what the cause is. We just want to know what the cause is.
You started with the parents. That's fine, because that could lead into
everybody in this room is educated. I don't give a fuck if you got a diploma.
That's true to a certain extent. Everybody has education.
Either you got kids in this bitch or you gonna have them. Say on dogs, you ain't gonna make sure your kids learn some shit, whether they learn it from school or not. Okay, so it don't matter
what are they learning that's
from
useful.
School. As a matter of fact, I tell niggas right now, school is just a place where you go meet girls. You supposed to learn the real at the crib.
Damn.
That's your mother and father's responsibility. Teach your fucking kids. Teach them how to buy cribs at 5 years old, nigga, instead of buying Nikes, and see how many niggas is educated.
He raises a valid point.
Or I want a Nintendo. Flip a house and then use profit money and buy a Nintendo, and then let's see if we talking about black niggas being uneducated.
Well, I think we don't want to admonish the accountability of the actual system and how the system is set up.
Nigga, the system ain't set up for us. So what we talking about? Let's get out of it.
No, I agree with you. I agree. The system's not set up with you.
We got a question,
but,
man.
What's up, bro?
First, I wanted to bring up the point that, like, I don't know how.
Talk to the fucking mic, man.
Don't
move your shit, man.
First, I want to bring up the point that BPS itself is working on shutting down all middle schools. Am I wrong? And switching high schools to 7 through 12, and elementary.
It already started.
Yeah, that's
trying to do
so they're eliminating all
Hey, yo, I told you. I gave
that's
you a link.
that's to cut costs. They want
That's a John D. O'Brien model, but that's probably to save a couple $1 million, yo. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you a little story about that.
I'm saying you say it begins at home. So what about those the youth that are dealing with that don't have parents in the home or are growing up in foster care who are homeless?
Well, separate the foster kids because once you're a foster kid, you have a parent.
So,
well, okay, hang on. Let me hear what Boo had to say because he.
Are
you done with your point? Finish your point.
And the parents who are dealing with addiction, children who are dealing with the parents who are dealing with addiction.
Hey, yo,
that's a huge factor.
Look. Go
ahead, Boo.
The answer is this: I don't give a fuck what you dealing with at home. We all deal with shit at home. Your job is your number one responsibility is to the children.
I hear you.
And you gotta make sure that, nigga, if you gonna be a user, you fucking use. But when it's time for them kids to read the book, you read it with them. And then you use after, nigga, after they go to sleep. I don't give a fuck.
We agree with that.
And being sexually assaulted.
Yo, you gotta moderate, dog.
Yo, bro.
Why can't I let Kev talk?
No, because he's supposed to talk and this motherfucker talking.
No. Supposed to talk. You introed him, and then letting him finish his point.
All right, so here's listen, I hear what you're saying. It is dumb important for a parent to be. And yo, when you look at your lives, right? Like, I don't know what your parents did, but my mother was a helicopter mom. Like, made sure my grades was straight. And I wasn't the best student, right? So yes, it starts at the house. But when them kids leave the house, right? What they leave with, okay? You're talking about teachers that when G alluded to earlier, that might not be able to relate to these kids that are coming from a home that might be
70% of teachers are white women, by the way,
which is a crazy statistic, right? Like, we're an anomaly. Right? Like, we're a statistical anomaly. 2%. Right? So, when you talk about that, then you talk about curriculum that comes down from, when you talk about history of curriculum, you're talking about old white men who put in something years ago, right? And if we're talking about history, if we're talking about math, it doesn't matter. You're talking about all these subjects that have been watered down to make it seem like, nobody else could have figured this out.
Right.
But we figured it out first.
Right.
So now we're going to teach it to you. And if you don't get it, it's got to be something fundamentally wrong with your race, right? So that's a whole nother aspect to it. True. So curriculum, right? And then you're talking about poverty. That's a whole nother systematic issue. When you come out of the house and you don't get to eat before you leave a house, when you don't get to eat before you leave when your only meal might be
bodega food with no nutrients.
Bodega diet.
When your only meal might be lunch at that school, and that lunch might be trash.
And the first period wasn't even gym.
Or your lunch is
that's actually an astute point. Wait, hold on. That's actually a astute point because the U.S. created the free lunch program after the COINTELPRO, when Black Panthers
initiative, I got you.
Initially started free lunch.
Right.
And what the U.S. government did is they basically emulated the program
and
of
then,
the Black
and then
Panthers,
said that we started.
And then said we started.
Right.
But then hold on. Then the last part is children themselves, right?
Yeah.
So hold up. You're going to blame this 7, 8, 9, 10 through 17-year-old for the curriculum that doesn't fit them, for the poverty that they come from because of systematic oppression, for a parent that might be an abuser, that might be a user, whatever, and then you're gonna expect them to come in, like, it's such an unrealistic like, come in, sit down, do this math homework.
I mean, plus what's
take this
class. I have to share something, right?
I'm
gonna be 100, man. Shout out to my moms. I love my moms to death. My moms never, ever did homework with me, looked at my homework, asked me, do you have any homework this and the third? She never did that shit. She was more concerned with going to work, coming home to go to sleep, coming home to cook,
making sure the house was clean.
Exactly. So her and her logic was, I send you to school, so I'm thinking you're learning. My mom's, the last time she actually looked at my report card was 9th grade. 9th grade, I remember I got kicked out of a pilot school. And to be honest with you, at that pilot school, it was actually a pretty good school. I remember we done fucking digested a fucking pig. The shit that you see on fucking
dissected,
television.
you mean? You said digested?
My fault. My bad.
I don't know if you digest the pig.
Stay on your team.
from the slime.
You panic.
Stay away from the slime.
You're gonna have to drop the bomb on that one.
Yo, that's not even necessary for a bomb. Y'all sound stupid as fuck. Anyways, but like, even I'm gonna be honest, at that pilot school, that's where I actually learned about the empires of Mali, Songhai, and Ghana. And this was literally, I remember it was a white woman teaching that shit. And I couldn't believe this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being real. Like, but I remember growing up, all my black teachers I respected. Yo, I violated a lot of teachers, but I respected my black
ones
teachers.
was on.
Something doesn't surprise me about that.
So I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I'm gonna go with it's the teachers, because when the teacher can relate, like, you gotta understand, yo. It sounds fucked up, but a lot of teachers, they are like secondary parents to a lot of these kids. Like, you actually interact with these kids probably more so than the actual parents. And not to mention, look at the system, right? Like, yo, but hold on, like, yo. I see what Kev's trying to say, but I remember this, man. Like, I used to get in trouble all the time. And my moms would struggle just to go to my school when I got suspended. It got to the point where my moms used to be like, do I need to come? Can y'all just suspend them? You know what I'm saying? Like, she literally would say that to them. Like, but it's real. Why? Because, like, either she has to work a double shift, you know what I mean? Or she's literally at work and you want her to go all the way out of her, out of the way to go to the school just to hear them say, yo, we're going to suspend G for like 3 days. So in her mind, she was like, yo, this is too much. You know what I mean? And I don't blame her necessarily because, again, she was a single mother raising 2 boys. So it's like, it's the way the system is set up.
She also raised Super Kev.
Well, I'm
whatever, dog. I'm just saying. But yo, think about it. Yo,
nah, it makes sense.
Let's just
I'm
keep
just
it 100.
gonna say,
Yo, like Kev, keep it 100, bro.
Yo, this is what it is, man. At the end of the day, my mother would have never had to go to my school so much, and she just had my back when I told her this teacher's being fucking whack. It comes down to the parents, just like I said. Because how many times was I right, but because I was 16 or I was 12, I was too young. Nigga, I was never too young. I've been lit. You know what I'm saying? So if I tell my mother, yo, this bitch is whack, you need to come check her, then you need to go to the school and check this bitch. And that's it. But once you tell me no, you make me look dumb. Now I gotta go back to the school, argue by myself. Exactly. I'm gonna lose because I'm the kid. So nigga, exactly. I'm gonna go out swinging every day. Nigga, I got something to prove to y'all niggas. I ain't bitch. So nigga, yeah, I used to fight with my teachers every day. One of the reasons why I became a teacher is so my little niggas don't gotta deal with that shit. So on dogs, my niggas don't deal with that shit.
So again, you prove my point. This is a teacher.
Gang.
You see what I'm saying? But I guarantee when those young boys or them young girls go to your class, they go, yo,
them niggas be outside my door early.
To me.
They be outside my door early. Like,
so,
yo,
like, for example, hold on. So let's say,
you know you ain't got my class like that.
Yo, I mean, a perfect example. I just gotta give this one example. I remember there was a girl. I still remember her name, right? I'm not even gonna say her name, but I remember, like, I think it was 4th grade, right? She was actually her first time experiencing her period. Yo, this teacher was like treating her like certified shit. And at the time, I didn't know what the fuck she was doing. I didn't know what was going on. She was, yo, she didn't even want to like leave her seat, all kind of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then the teacher made a big scene and all of that. And I'm like, oh, whoa, what's going on? But I remember, yo, there was this teacher, right? Miss Dawson, black woman, right? Yo, she talked to the white teacher and was like, explained it to her. Like, yo, she's going through her menstrual cycle. You know what I mean? It's her first time. But if it wasn't for that black woman, yo, real talk. Like, yo, you gotta understand. Like, yo, a lot of these white teachers, bro, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we develop faster than them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these young black boys, yo, we're more like active. They look at this like, oh, yo, this dude, he's a threat. You see what I'm saying? Opposed to going like, yo, all right, yo, G, you know what, yo, cut the shit. Yo, fool, cut that shit. You know what I'm saying? They be like,
that's what I do.
No, yeah, the teachers are kind of like the middleman in between everything. But yo, let me get Fool get his word in. I definitely hear what you're saying.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, you know, I like all the talk of personal accountability, but I'm gonna say the actual system from its very inception
what is this nigga talking about?
He's talking about
was
the
insidiously planned. Not to develop critical thinking, but to actually develop obedience. So if you know the history of the U.S., education system, actually prior to like 1834, most people were homeschooled or went to private school because there were no public schools. But the guy right here in Massachusetts, Horace Mann, who's called the father of education, he basically was inspired by the country at the time. It was called Prussia, but we know it today as modern day Germany. But they had a school system where their school system was based off of obedience, and all their kids would sit, you know, in how you know classrooms are set up today, in a row, one desk after the other.
Right.
And school prior to that system was developed in the 1800s. School prior to that wasn't necessarily that. People were learning from someone in their community or learning from their parents,
like an actual skill.
So yeah, the love,
right.
that love was there, and the children felt they were in a loving environment and, you know, were accepted to learn. But that actually, the Prussian system was actually what developed, because the guy who developed that, I can't remember his name, it's like Frederick something. He actually, you know, if you want to fast forward to history, he inspired the Nazi education system. So like, you gotta look to like Horace Mann and the actual inception of this system that hasn't really been changed in like 150 years.
It's basically built to breed factory workers.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but however,
cogs in the machine.
That sounds.
well,
that
that aspect comes later. I'm gonna talk about later
however,
who set that into
students around the U.S. that are actually excelling in this same system.
That's true.
So, go ahead.
Go
Nah,
ahead.
but the whole thing is, my whole thing is this.
Fucking mic is right there,
My
bro.
whole thing is this: if you're excelling, if you're excelling,
Don't let G rattle you.
if
dog.
you're excelling
Speak your
in a
piece, dog.
system that is
Alright.
designed to keep you stupid in the first place, then what's the point? Because you're never gonna be rich.
That's why I disagree.
So
I
let-
do not
I mean,
agree
I'm
that
just
the
saying.
system
Let the
is designed
intern
to keep
respond.
stupid. I don't
Go ahead, dog.
All right.
And then we'll go to G.
I agree with what everybody's saying here. It's on the macro level, it's the system, but on the micro level, it's the teachers and the parents. When the teachers and the parents say, when the teachers write off a student and ask, yo, I can't teach him. He's bad. I can't deal with him. And then parents like, yo, I'm busy with working. Can't you just suspend him? Then that's what the student sees. Like, yo, nobody gives a fuck about me. So why should I give a fuck about the education system? So now it creates that dynamic in the student's mind or the youth's mind where they grow up and like, yo, I'm doing me. I don't give a fuck about school. And I love my mom, my pops, but I'm not going to do what I'm doing me. I got to get what I need to do to get this paper. So it may lead kids to selling drugs. It may lead kids to gang initiation. It may lead kids into sex trafficking shit you never know. Hey, it's out here. Kids, there's
a bunch of different.
It's out here.
All right, let's get back to the.
Hold on.
We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about education.
So
like,
we're still on point one, right? We're still talking about.
Let's start on point one.
Yo, let me bring it back. Hey,
I'm
yo,
saying
fellow teacher, man, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
All the kids that fucked up, alright, whatever that means, you fill in your own blanks.
Yeah.
How many of them have really great and involved parents?
So that's a good question.
You know it's a good
That
one
is a
because
good
I already know
question.
the answer.
Let's rock.
Not
with
many.
this
Not many. I'm gonna say not many because
Just
I
not
was
many.
just corresponding with a parent.
So you're
about
making
her,
my
about
point.
her
It
student.
comes back to the parents. Because let me tell you this. I don't give a fuck because niggas know it's Black Lives Matter and shit. But it's White Lives Matter too. Like, I fuck with everybody. So even if it's
White Lives Matter, baby.
nigga, all lives matter, baby. Was good. So you know how it is. You know how it's 70.
Black Lives
Hey,
Matter.
that's
too.
how you feel.
Black Lives Matter too.
Yo, Black
Not
Lives
like-
Matter.
not
Yeah,
more.
Hey,
They
video
matter
game
too.
lives matter.
Yeah.
That's all that
I
matters.
don't gotta appeal to nobody
watch,
for my life to
video
matter.
I
I'm sorry.
even though all lives matter, we fuck with
love you.
everybody. But watch this though. So with 70% of teachers being white women, I don't think that stat even fucking matters because name a teacher who don't give a fuck. All of us do at some level.
You're bugging.
I have to disagree.
Yo, you definitely fucked up, B. You definitely panicked. Yo,
If y'all
all
got something to
teachers.
say, I'll let this rock for another few minutes.
Yo, I literally had white male teachers who sit up with their legs on the desk folded, not giving no fucks,
They
bro.
used to give a fuck.
Huh?
That person used to give a fuck.
Wow.
Maybe at one point we talking about, but you making a blanket statement like
fifth grade
the
teacher.
I can't
Yo,
even
this
say the
dude-
majority of
hold on,
teachers
this
give a
dude-
fuck.
Yo, for discipline, right, to keep everybody like silent and
Slam
obedient.
the fucking
Yo,
ruler.
he used to use a one of the legs from a
ruler.
chair and slammed the shit on the tables, yo. Like, yo, that shit used to be hilarious until he did it on your desk. You know what I mean? No, this shit was so reckless. I remember one time he banged that shit so
that
hard.
nigga cared before he
piece
got
of the
to
chip
that
off and hit a
level.
girl in the eye, bro.
Hey,
that shit was
the
bugging,
spark,
son.
he lost it because
Yo, you can't go through a teaching program and not give a fuck about kids.
That's
now,
true.
the teaching system will do what it do to niggas, and that's a separate. Again, that could be episode number 4 featuring Super Kev. But niggas get into this business with a pure heart. So what happens along
You
the
honestly
way?
believe all of these teachers come in with a pure heart?
So you telling me you gonna sacrifice?
Yeah,
you,
this is not a profession that you.
This
just
is
like-
not a profession where you get it.
I was
First off,
gonna
you
say,
ain't
do they vet
compensated.
people who actually give a shit about the student? Like,
So,
I would
yo, but-
imagine you can't.
But hold on, you gotta ask like the whole interview process too, right? Because like,
Yeah.
yo, you can fake the funk for an interview, right? You know what I mean? Like, yo, you could be like, yo, I'm in here doing X, Y, and Z
I'll
for
tell
all
you
these
the truth.
kids. My kids
you
do
can
all.
fake
You know
the
what I mean?
funk through an interview.
Yeah.
You can fake the funk and build a curriculum. You cannot fake the funk 2 weeks in front of these niggas every day.
That's true.
Can
I see.
say something?
Yo, be
Yo,
quick.
Well, hang on. Yeah.
Be
You
quick.
say they don't come in here.
By
bro,
niggas, he
there's a
means
teacher at
students.
the school I work at right now, and he's using a whistle to like get the kids' attention. Like every time the kids get
Okay,
on,
so
he blowing
so
the
there's
whistle.
there's teachers that say, "Come here, boy." Like there's still all types of shit going on that
Smack
ain't
him in
right.
the mouth.
We can address those things. That's not the point I'm making. What I'm trying to say is that teacher had pure
Yeah, he
intentions.
lost the spark at some point.
Now,
So he
lost
if
was
the
the
with it.
spark.
spark
He
is
lost the
gone,
spark.
just like I lost the spark, so I'm out. Like it
Damn,
happens.
son.
No
you
longer
lost the
lit.
spark, dog. You don't
My
give a fuck.
nigga, the system ain't
But
designed.
it wasn't because of the kids.
Nah, my niggas is lit.
Yo, bro, you still working in the system? Chill.
Hey, yo, dog, I'm good.
I
Bro,
lost
y'all
the
niggas don't know about me, man. I'm good.
Yo, let's go on to the next question. Yo, we spent some time on it. Let's go on to the next one.
Want that wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, all I know is
Funky.
keep it a buck. Everybody know I'm good.
Yo,
Out here.
so the Black Educators Alliance of Massachusetts and the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under law of the Boston Bar Association, that's a long ass fucking name, complained to the U.S. Department of Education claiming that the closing of certain Boston public schools discriminated against Boston's Black and Latino communities. Is the closing of several Boston public schools and the openings of new charter schools around the city of Boston these past few years linked to the gentrification in the inner city?
Let's get
start
some
this off?
geography
Yo,
popping.
fool, let's go, fool.
So yo,
Where
this
was these
question when I
closed?
was
Where was these schools closed at? What city are we talking?
We talking about
These
a couple.
these are,
Mattapan, Hyde
Mattapan.
Park,
Who lived there?
Dorchester.
Who lived
talking
there?
about black folk.
Listen,
Who
yeah.
lived there?
so
Who lived
yo,
there?
Who lived there?
All right,
Niggas know
Speed,
who lived there.
can I take
Yo,
this?
fool,
Who
go
just
for
got
it, go
closed
for it,
down
go
a
for
few
it.
years ago? Hyde Park
All right,
High.
so-
who the fuck lived there?
I'm gonna see my girl. She actually works for
this
one
is
of these charter schools,
Niggas
right?
using
Yes.
the podcast
So,
to get a couple points. I see.
They were actually
toss
you know, they were originally located somewhere in the downtown area
Yes.
in Boston, relocated to an outside neighborhood like Hyde Park, Mattapan. That
Real
I won't
South
say.
Boston, by
I
the
won't
way.
say the exact neighborhood because I don't want to pinpoint which school. Which school? But the school is now more on the outskirts of the city, in a predominantly black neighborhood. So now the original composition, not even just talking about of the composition of the neighborhood, the original composition of that particular school, of their faculty was majority black. Now, as they moved out into the neighborhood, they had a new board of directors, new director of the school, and just, you know, things starting to change. You know, let's just say things starting to lighten up a little bit. As far as the dynamic of the faculty, those people of color, you know, dropping off, and people of the lighter persuasion kept getting hired. So then that's one dynamic. Now you have the dynamic of the school itself.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
Now you have the dynamic of the school.
What's wrong with what Fu's saying?
I'm lost.
I mean, by lighter persuasion, I mean Caucasian people. If you haven't figured that out,
Just ain't that right. Answer the question.
Can I speak, brother? Thank you. I'll let you speak. All right. So
Somebody mute his mic.
when I'm talking about
Finish his statement.
so from that, you have that dynamic of the teachers, the composition of the teachers changing. So now the next thing that happened is now that these new teachers, they now got
So you're
hired
saying
in.
the underperformance is coming from just a lack of representation amongst the student. Like the students don't have teachers who look like them. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily just that. I'm really talking about the real estate aspect. But I'm gonna get
So when you
into.
say-
real estate.
Alright, I got you.
I'm gonna get into why I say that. Why I
So-
say the.
I want to know.
that
Hold
the-
on. Before you continue, I want to know if Vu.
I mean, I
thinks
never got to
you talk-
finish what I got to say,
I
but it's all right.
understand.
Taking
All
mad.
right, yo, no, I just want to finish.
Alright,
go ahead.
Well, then finish.
Because I'll be short and sweet. I'll be short and sweet. So basically, I mean, if I don't continue to get interrupted, then I'll finish. So basically, what I'm saying, the composition of the teachers change, and so what happened in those teachers started moving in that neighborhood. So now those teachers who now move in the neighborhood now change the composition of the neighborhood. And then so what happened in that particular school was
So you telling me these teachers live in Mattapan now?
yes. Well, not necessarily.
Mattapan is different.
Not
Bro, Mattapan is still 80% black, bro.
yo. Listen, not necessarily Mattapan. Not necessarily because the school's
But anyway,
not.
Dorchester's definitely.
I don't want to say the exact location of the school because I don't want to give off which.
Nah, yeah, I got you. Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a
right.
Boston area
Yeah.
charter school, and so but yes, the teachers
That's a
do
good point.
live in proximity to that neighborhood now. That's one thing. Now the school itself now being located in that neighborhood. Just by that self, without even the change of the composition, the racial composition of faculty, just by that school being there now changes the property value of that neighborhood. So,
Hold on, you're saying these schools being there changes the property value?
yes,
Nah.
and I can explain
I
why.
Yeah, it is the other way around.
Let me
because
just let Vu
the
respond
funding,
to that.
Okay, I'll let Vu.
Because the funding, how it works, like the funding for each school is dependent on the neighborhood the school is in, right? Like,
Yes,
like that's
exactly.
why when you look at a school in
Linked to the
Weston,
property tax.
exactly.
Yeah, the
So when you
property
look at-
tax.
When you look at a
So
school
the
like,
funding
let me
is
finish-
the
hold on,
school
hold
is
on,
linked to the
hold
property
on.
tax.
So
Let me
if you're
finish
saying-
let me finish my
No,
point.
Okay,
let-
all right,
finish.
yeah, let's
Yo,
move.
like,
Vu,
so we're
go
talking
ahead.
about schools closing down in these communities, right? Like
That
in
means niggas ain't
East
buying
Boston,
cribs.
right?
We
Like
have-
in
that's
East
the
Boston,
fucking
there's schools
problem.
that are getting closed down,
Okay.
in multiple predominantly black areas in Boston as well, or predominantly not colored, but predominantly minority areas in Boston. Schools are getting closed down. That's because literally the property value in that area doesn't
these
work.
schools ain't teaching these niggas to buy cribs.
Exactly. We're teaching them.
So what are we
We're teaching them
We're
actual
teaching them how to get
content,
shut
right?
the
We're not
fuck
teaching.
down.
We're not teaching them like life skill. We're just
Right.
teaching them content.
Right.
So these schools getting shut down. They're getting shut down because of a historical
So we know the
lack
problem.
of
What's the
reinvestment.
solution?
You know what I mean? Lack of reinvestment in your neighborhood. Lack of reinvestment in the school itself. Lack of reinvestment in the community. So these schools are getting shut
What's the
down
solution?
because none of the students are giving back.
How do we
Yeah,
fix
hold on,
it?
and I got another thing to add on to this, where I do believe it's linked to gentrification, and the reason why is because as more white people are moving into the city of Boston, or even other metropolitan cities that are similar in, similar to like the city of Boston, right? What happens is parents, particularly white parents, are gonna go on Google and look up these schools. No parent's gonna send their kid to Dorchester High, to High Park High, to the Burke. You know what I'm saying? They go, whoa, these shits is problematic.
What's popping up when they search
Nah,
it?
it's just like, yo, you just know that these schools are either closing down, they're not performing, they have higher dropout rates. Yo, you can look all of this up. It's like a Google away. So what happens though? The superintendent, in the city, they shut these schools down, right? Then they reopen these same schools, but they're now charter schools or pilot schools. So now they have new names. So even though they're in the same building, they no longer call the same school. So now you have, I don't know, let's say G Excel Academy.
Right.
You go, oh my God, G Excel Academy is a great school, and so now these white people that are moving into the city, they send their kids to that particular school. They're not sending their kids to the Burke. They're not sending their kids to like the schools where it's predominantly black. They want their kids to go to, even if it's in the inner city, send my son or my daughter to the school where there's other white kids, or
Like
a
the
school
exam
that's
schools.
excelling.
Right.
Like exam schools. Like for
exam
example,
schools.
right? Like 2 out of the 3 exam schools are actually in the hood. But when people think about those exam schools, they're not thinking the hood, right? Why? Because when you Google the shit, you go, oh wow, A lot of these kids go to college. They
Right.
go to competitive universities.
What's the graduation
Thank
rate?
you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you go,
That's a good
I
point.
want my kid to go there. So as
But you got to take a test. And
but
that
you gotta
test
think about it. Like
is
Marty
prep
Walsh
from the
isn't
third
stupid.
grade.
Now Marty Walsh isn't stupid, right?
You are
He
absolutely
knows
right. I was
that
actually
the
gonna make
city
that point.
is now being
I be knowing some
gentrified,
shit when I
right?
ain't fucking talking
As the city's being gentrified, as more white people are coming in, they don't want to send their kid to these low performing schools. They want their kids at competitive schools. So the city, the superintendent, they're all down. They're all in a cahoots with this shit. Like, yo, fuck it. Close down all of these schools. So if these schools that service majority black and Hispanic kids, oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
These fucking parents ain't even unified enough to even complain. Whatever, if we close these schools down, yo, y'all just bust y'all asses to the school in Dorchester or bust your asses to a school in Roxbury. They don't give a fuck. While they reopen a whole bunch of charter schools.
Yeah.
And then you remember now with charter schools, they have the right to select who they want. And they have the right to kick kids out. So if you're not performing, they go, hey, you know what? Sorry, fool. You're not cutting it here. We got to kick you out. But you could go to fucking DeBurke or Dorchester High or whatever. But
Well, there's also
at this charter school, you not rocking over here. They don't want those type of kids. And so charter schools are the perfect solution for white people that are all for moving into the city.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Because
Because
of the perfect
regular
solution for white people
public
moving into the
schools
city.
aren't cutting it. Because regular public schools, they cannot kick out kids. Just like community colleges. Community college has to accept anyone. As long as you got a fucking high school diploma or a GED, they have to take you.
Yeah,
While
we should be
other
teaching our kids to
universities,
go to
they
community
go like,
college
nah,
too.
bro,
That's
these
another
are the
conversation,
standards.
Number 5.
All right, thank you, Kev. But go ahead.
Nah, no worries. Vu wanted to say something, yo.
So we're talking about is this hurting closing these schools and opening charter schools around the city? Is that linked to gentrification, right?
Yes, it's a
so
link
the
to
way you
gentrification.
spin it, right, it's directly linked to gentrification.
Yes.
But there's also a fact you also got to look at the communities that the schools are in as well, right? Like like plenty of schools closed in Mattapan over the years, plenty of schools have closed in Dorchester, plenty of schools have closed in Roxbury. Those are the predominantly what areas, right? Like in East Boston,
You
it's
can't say that.
predominantly
Dorchester's
Hispanic.
the biggest one out of all the niggas.
So listen, but
That's actually not
there's
true. It's actually
schools
Dorchester
itself
ain't the biggest city in
and
Boston.
people who are
Hold
moving
on, it
in.
is, but the highest
Let-
density of African Americans is actually Mattapan.
Oh no, I agree. I'm saying there's mad different people in Dorchester.
Right.
Let
No,
me-
but I'm saying like minority. You know what I'm saying? Not even like black. I'm just saying minority itself. Them closing being linked to gentrification is correct. Like, yo, it's factual. Like, you gotta look at it like, yo, people are moving in here. Why are they moving in here? We're one of the biggest tech hubs. We're one of the biggest pharmaceutical hubs on the East Coast. So we're not bringing in people from Massachusetts to begin with. Because people
Facts.
from Massachusetts, how many niggas you know from your hood work at Biogen? Work at Par Excel.
No,
You don't even
Pookie
know.
work.
Yo,
Pookie work in the
yo,
mailroom.
I-
Why you talking about?
yo,
Who's on
yo,
Pookie work in the mailroom?
I did a Fortune 500 panel,
Shipping
right?
out packages.
Yo, you know how I had to struggle just to
Yeah.
get one black person that actually works at Biogen to speak on the panel, bro.
Shit.
Yo, real talk. It's
You know what I'm
that-
saying? Like, so when you look at it, none
don't
of these
even know
cats are
what a
going to
Biogen
these.
is.
They're not coming from Roxbury and going to Par Excel or to Biogen.
Right.
They don't. You close those schools,
Right.
you limit their opportunity. They all have to be bused to a massive school where they don't
Right.
get any type of love.
At the end of the
You
day, we
clo-
shouldn't be busting niggas nowhere, wasting time in traffic.
I hear you.
Fucking wasting.
I mean,
gas,
I feel you.
nigga.
I went to Mecco,
Number-
fucking waking up at
episode number
5:30
5.
a.m.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
no
mean? Just to
reason
catch
out
a
the city.
6:30
Hey, yo,
a.m.
fuck
bus.
Mecco.
Yo,
Well, the Mecco-
but
Listen, I went through. I'm just saying.
Listen,
Well, that's
I-
how-
So
No,
to answer it
wrong
long and
fool.
short,
everybody should
has
to
a
work.
good point.
It's good that you
Back in business.
mentioned Mecco though, because that's
Yo,
exactly
Mecco
to
ain't
what
the
my
problem.
point was. Mecco
Believing
is a
that
problem
you gotta
actually.
leave the hood is the
But-
problem.
What y'all?
Mecco should be available, but we shouldn't be using it.
well, the whole thought process around Mecco is right. Like, yo, you take these kids out of the hood.
Well, listen.
They get to go to a predominantly white school. So you're like, oh, that makes it better for them,
I
right?
agree.
No,
on that. But
but
look-
Is
that's
that
the
the
whole
next
thing.
thing or not?
It doesn't. It's not for
tight.
that black
Fuck
student. It's to integrate
Yo,
those
mission,
white,
this nigga's
the,
tight, bro.
the white kids in the suburb with the black kids. So that was my point that we really wanted to make
No, I feel you. Yeah.
how that system is.
I just ran through it.
But I have two cousins who went to predominantly black schools, and then they got accepted to like BC High and Thayer Academy. And that shit fucked them up. These niggas don't fuck with black people at all, son. They come back to the hood.
Thank you for changing the subject, yo.
No, I'm just saying.
Yo, meanwhile, your favorite math teacher's back.
Listen,
so the next, what's our
let's
next
jump
point?
let's jump on to the next one, yo. In 2016, 61% of Massachusetts voters voted no on question 2, which was Massachusetts authorization of additional charter schools and charter school expansion, which would authorize up to 12 new charter schools or enrollment expansions in existing charter schools. So what are your thoughts on question? So what are your thoughts on question 2? Should black people be in favor in charter school
I would say
Hell's no.
Like first
Hell's
and foremost,
no.
I'm gonna say-
Not if you value. Not if you value.
No.
Fuck no.
Next question.
I mean, just say no. Yo, for me, and this is what I was trying to bring up with my point about the school that my girl works at. These schools in these neighborhoods are really installations for real estate, and they actually disrupt the real estate of those communities.
So does that not make it deliberate?
I mean, whether it's deliberate or accidental, I mean, you could disagree.
No,
Hold on.
The charter schools.
Listen, I can look at it the way I want to look at it
No,
because
what I'm saying is,
I just wanna-
look
what's
at
the discourse? Let me see.
gentrification, right? What you're looking at it is you're looking at it from the perspective of the schools is causing gentrification.
Yeah, we got viewers, we got listeners who don't know what gentrification is.
The schools to change because when white people are moving into these neighborhoods, they're actually buying the property. They're not renting the property. That's a big difference. And when they're buying the property, right, they are more invested in the community, right? Like for example, right, I live in Dorchester, right? I told the intern, I was like, yo, have you ever went to our community like meetings and stuff where it's like a bunch of like white people that actually own their houses and they actually dictate what's going on in the community. They actually vote what stores could be in the community, what schools. They actually have police actually come in and give reports. They have all kind of people that actually come and actually report on what's going on in Dorchester. And it's sad because you don't really see a lot of black folk there. But why? They're not home owners, so they're not as invested. So
again, we're not teaching.
So now, when you look at charter schools, right? The reason why charter schools are being implemented is not because like, oh, charter schools are changing the dynamic of the city or the town. Right. No, the town is changing.
I know you disagree with that point, but they are.
Because the town is changing, the town is saying, we aren't sending our schools to these shitty, our kids to these shitty ass schools. We want our kids to be in these competitive schools so they have an opportunity to go to competitive universities and colleges. What you're saying is like the polar opposite, and that's why I'm like, I'm not understanding what you're trying to say. Well, so now, when you look at the question in regards to question 2, right? The people who are saying, yo, they're in favor of charter schools, it's usually, and if you notice, right, it's usually people who are in the inner city, right? Because people in the inner city are like, yo, they don't want their kids going to like these local schools. They want their kids to go to competitive schools, right? But when you look at like Dedham High, right? Or you look at Milton High, these are cities, they don't have charter schools. They're like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah,
our schools are already
Dedham
High. Yo, these schools are already competitive.
There's no need.
Right? Why?
Yeah,
because their property tax fund that school, and because of that, their school is excelling. So, like for example, if they say, "Go, you know what? We want more counselors." If they say they want more like trauma counselors, if they want more career counselors, they could afford that. So now, a lot of these schools, they aren't receiving those funding. So they look at it like, "Yo, you know what? Yo, it is what it is." Superintendents go, "Who gives a fuck? These people don't even own the shit. These people aren't even active voters. These same quote-unquote parents don't even go to parent-teacher conferences. They're looking at it like, yo, we can do whatever the fuck we want." So it comes back to the parents. You see what I'm saying? Like you saying like, oh, these charter schools are changing the dynamic of the community. No, the community's already changing. Literally the people that are coming into this community are saying, we don't want our kids going to these shitty ass schools.
So we need
That's the
parents who are having babies.
Okay, so I'm gonna
and
disagree
owning
with you.
property. Hold on,
It
fool.
ain't about disagreeing.
No, it's not about disagreeing because we got.
I
we
mean,
gotta
it's not
finish this.
facts.
Yes,
It's not
it is.
facts. It's your opinion.
Well,
But
it ain't
my
mine.
opinion
it's
is
your
lit, though.
opinion. I
It's
can
mine.
I can
My
expound
Let me
opinion-
let
why.
Kev
but
say something and then you respond.
Go ahead.
Super Kev got something to say because we got a problem here. So we over here making mad babies, doing the wham wham, and we doing
Wham,
the
bam,
grown
thank you,
man,
ma'am.
but we ain't buying no fucking cribs for our babies, right? So now that's the fucking problem because I bet you these kids out of Needham High School, Dedham High School, you name it. I bet you those motherfuckers graduate and buy cribs in Dedham, in Needham. How many niggas graduate from any type of Boston public high school and don't fucking own a house? That's the fucking problem. So what are these parents working for? They go to work every fucking day working doubles. And what are they passing down to their children? A whole bunch of debt. What the fuck are we doing here? And then we're talking about going to competitive schools. Let's talk about funding competitive schools. All my little niggas is going to community college, nigga. And I ain't paying. Them niggas better go to McDonald's and pay that shit themselves.
It's free right now.
Hold
Fuck
on, yo,
that
but,
shit.
But,
Yo,
but
fool.
Kev, can you answer the question in regards to charter schools? Question two?
Wait,
Let's get back to
Let me
Charles.
answer that too.
Yeah, yo. can
Whatever
you
the fuck
get back
we was
to the
at.
question?
Yo, I already told niggas I don't vote, nigga. At the end of the day, we gotta just buy cribs. That's the
Sound
answer.
like Walker.
So
We gotta
the
buy our own-
reason
Well,
Hold on. Let me before the reason why I voted absolutely
You
no
voted?
on the
I
the
voted
reason
no
I
too.
voted
I don't
absolutely
vote
no
for
on
you.
question 2 is when you look at a charter school, right? And I had the luxury of going to a private school, charter school, and public school. So I've been through all three of them, right? I teach now at a public school. I taught last year at a private school, right? I'm never gonna teach at a charter school.
Damn.
One,
Because they shit on
yo,
teachers.
the teachers themselves,
No
you
teacher
work
union.
from 7 a.m. or before to like 4 o'clock. And that's just the school day itself. Not to mention you probably got to grade homework and make tests, all that bullshit after that time.
And they can fire you at
And
will.
you don't get no type of compensation. It's not an hourly job. We work salary. You know what I'm saying? So it's not hourly, right?
Yeah, I'm about to
Then,
call out.
then you look at a charter school can take in kids at will. You do the lottery system, but the lottery system is bullshit. You know how I know? I went to the same charter schools twice. I got picked from the lottery twice. My mother knew the person in the front office. You know what I'm saying? We was cool like that.
Gotcha.
Right? So
That
yo,
bullshit. That's that bullshit.
so all right, so that's point number two,
It
right?
never hurts to
Then
know
boom.
someone.
No, it doesn't, right? But then you got kids that go to these charter schools that may have not succeeded at any of these public schools. They got no type of foundation to go off of. These charter schools move at a different rate. The type of shit that they're teaching kids, like I remember going to my charter school, I was like, yo, I never heard of any of this stuff. And I was in the 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, what are you guys talking about? So I had no foundation. Then you're going to ask them, yo, you need to catch up to where these kids is at. They're already at a loss. When they act up because they're frustrated at home, they're frustrated they don't get it in school,
Back to
they
the
get kicked
parents.
out. After a certain time frame, the charter school keeps the money they get from this kid.
Thank you.
They don't
Bingo.
care. They don't
Bingo.
care. Yo, listen.
Yup.
You know what the graduating
They're
class?
driving the
Yo,
numbers
charter
up.
schools are tiny, right? That's because they're selective. The graduating numbers of those kids is still the same demographic of kids coming from Dorchester, Roxbury, wherever. But them niggas leave charter school without not much more preparation than a public school kid would. And if the kid acted up and got kicked out for the year, like what's the cutoff? I think it's like October and November. There's a cutoff day for a charter school. If a kid is acting up between September to November, they're like, see you later, bye,
to
right?
the
And hold on, one more thing.
I'm to the hood.
You do know 60% of charter schools actually fail. So it's not like every charter school is like the solution for the inner city.
Right.
They're actually not. You see what I'm saying?
60% fail.
60%
But you also got to look at
fail.
When you
who's
say
funding
fail, they
charter
close
schools.
down?
They actually closed down. You see what I'm saying? I think they failed within 5 years. You know what I mean?
Look at who's
60%.
funding charter schools.
well, a lot
Right, like Sprint is a huge contributor to charter
Like
schools.
cell phone company.
Yes, bro.
Sprint
Them niggas fuck with charter
contributes
schools.
to
Yo, bro,
That's
listen,
why I got
man.
T-Mobile, nigga. I don't fuck with them
Yo,
niggas.
listen, man. Not even that.
The money that they
Y'all be
get.
shocked. Yo, corporations even invest in
I've
charter
been hip.
schools
I've been
and
hip.
community colleges.
I've been hip.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why
Most
we as the
definitely.
hood,
Most
we gotta
definitely.
teach the hood to stay in the community. The money is down
Where
the
they
street.
live, like yo, because then they build up
Yo,
the neighborhood.
all
Then
we
you
gotta
know
do
what I mean? Like,
is a
But-
solution. We gotta walk to school, nigga. Fuck that, get in the car,
Yo,
driving,
we gonna get to
wasting
solutions,
gas
yo.
shit.
Kev.
right,
walk
All
to
right,
shit.
hold on.
Be
Let me
patient.
But-
get fool in before we move
All
on.
right, so
This nigga fool's about to fucking say some shit.
Yo, stop
Oh, no,
disrespecting
'cause-
my man fool.
yo,
For
it's, yo, it's,
Yo, just be precise.
no. I'm just saying. I just want to stay on this point of
About to use big
actually
words, though.
why I say it is actually the charter schools that are coming into the community. Because if you do your research on who's funding charter schools, a lot of their funding actually does come from real estate developers. And I've done this research, so I know this to be true. So the real estate developers themselves have an idea of which neighborhoods that will be the new hot hubs of the city.
Right.
And
You're proving our points, though. You're not even real.
no. I never disagree with you, but you said I was looking at it in
Disagree
reverse,
with him like 4
and I'm
minutes
just
ago.
saying, yo, you have to look at it from the standpoint of corporatocracy
needed
and
a time to
business,
shine, dog.
Adding to what you guys have said.
because this is not like accident. This is not like an accidental thing. This is not a natural progression of, oh, by the way, these schools are failing. So these schools are designed to fail from the inception. It's not an accident that certain schools get more funding. Yes, property tax does pay for school, and no, if you own a business and that property tax does not go to your community, because the property tax that your business or your home goes to, even if you have tenants. Say I'm a landlord, I own a building. If I'm paying, I don't know, Dorchester, so I'm paying my property tax to that Dorchester school, it still goes. Now,
I hear what you're saying, but what you're not understanding is, again,
So-
the charter schools are closely linked to selling the community, right? So the city is already being gentrified, right? I agree with you on that. Like, yo, the people that are actually doing the construction and things of that nature, they're saying like, yo, you know what, Marty Walsh? Damn, man, yo, this school over here ain't cutting it, and it's hard for us to sell, you know,
Right.
Mattapan or Dorchester or Roxbury with these shitty ass schools. These white folk that are moving into this city, they want their kids at a competitive school. So what do? They go like, all right, you know what? These schools are underperforming. Yo, we give y'all a year. After that year or two or whatever, we're shutting that school down and we're going to reopen it as a charter school. So that way, white people go, oh, wow, I can send my kid to this school, and this school will get my kid into these colleges.
Yeah, but it really be like that, though.
I
So,
know it is.
listen,
I know. But that's
So
what
with
I'm
all
like,
that
what are you
said,
talking
with what
about?
everyone
There's
said,
a school that I was at that do that.
it looks like black people should not be in favor of charter schools. So
No,
next question.
but I have to play devil's advocate, right? Because I have
you
this
don't.
debate with actually one of my colleagues at work all the time. And she's a strong advocate for charter schools, right? Because she's looking at it from an individual perspective and not the collective. Charter schools work for like the minority, right? But the majority of the city, nah. But however, she goes, why would I send my child to a school that's failing, right? And so I actually can't hate on her for that because, you know, I'm a parent, right? However, I go, as a parent, I don't give a fuck. Whatever school my son goes to, best believe I'm going to be involved. Best believe I'm going to say, yo, what y'all need us to raise? If y'all need X amount of dollars, what I need to do to actually raise that? I know. I'm not, hey, listen. I'm
gonna be
not
on that
gonna
wave
disagree.
all night, man.
But what I'm saying
Along
is,
with this other wave I'm on.
yo, but what I'm saying is this, right? Like, a lot of parents, right? That's why parents say, I want my kid to go to a charter school, an exam school, MECO, and things of that nature. They just want their kids to excel, right?
Yes.
But they don't see the rest of the community doing the very same thing, right?
Yes.
So when the rest of the community isn't invested in their kids' education,
Yes.
why would you send your kid to a school to a burning house, pretty much?
I
See
see
what
what
I'm
you're
saying?
saying. No, I rock with
So
you.
even though I disagree, I still believe, yo, if you live in a community, like if you live in Dorchester, yo, you should make sure that, yo,
No,
Dorchester
you gotta do what you
schools
gotta do.
perform and excel. If you live in Roxbury, yo, the schools in Roxbury should perform and excel.
Yo, according to a 2001 to 2005 North Carolina public school study,
North Carolina, they mad racist out there.
where they observed 100,000 black students. That's a big number, 100,000. They found that the risk of dropping out for low-income black male students decreased by 39% if they had at least one black teacher in 3rd through 5th grades. They also found that North Carolina black male students were less likely to be removed from school as punishment when their teachers were the same race. If black teachers in the classroom can help resolve with our black boys,
Oh,
then why are only 2% of the nation's teachers black men? 2% of the nation's teachers
I'll
are
tell
black
you why
men.
only 2% of us are black men.
What it is.
And I'm on my way out, so nigga, I'm contributing to the problem. Yeah, at the end of the day, yo, dog, we out here, man. Yo, here's what it is, though. Let's bring it though. I panic.
Yo, that's a bomb, son.
Let me break it down to you. Somebody pull me up because this is about to be a bombshell on this fucking podcast right here. At the end of the day,
you be forcing it with the shots,
That
dog.
shit
I'm so sick of my
first shit. I'm
my
He's
nigga-
gonna be a driver, bro.
Yo,
He
Kev,
don't-
it's looking like Iraq out here right now.
He's the clip. But yo, here's what it is. Good look, bro. The reason why only 2% of educators are men
Yeah.
of color.
Yes.
Niggas need water, dog. The way you pouring
Yo,
shots.
I got a
Let me hear what Kev's
plethora
saying.
of answers, but I'm gonna stick with a handful.
Yo,
Number
go for it.
one, at the end of the day, when you're a man and you know what the fuck a man know, you don't limit yourself to education. So off the rip, education is limited. When you too smart, there's just you just offer too much, and then that's a problem. Number two, yo, a lot of us start off as educators, but nigga, that system ain't meant for black men to educate young black men. So we have to abort mission. That's why we leave. Nigga.
I was
and
gonna blame it on some Hotep shit and figured
Yo,
that women were the educators.
Alright, let me break it down. Let me break it down because it's the
women's role is
erudition.
to
It's
teach
the
the child.
Right.
Man's rules, you go out and
Nah,
get
yo,
the
I
food
got
money.
Yo, Falu,
I ain't know who
I got you.
Oh yeah,
right
that's
now.
right. You gonna
I
send
got
your
you right
queen
now.
to war?
Let me bring it back a couple years ago.
Like, listen, nigga.
You wanna say that Queen
Yeah,
of
my
War?
fault. I definitely cut Kev off. My
You gonna
fault.
send your
Nah,
queen to
it's
war?
all
Hey,
good. It's all
niggas is
bad,
different.
Kev.
Sometimes
The
niggas cut from
wanna
different
hear the
cloths,
real.
yo.
So here's what it is, right? So a couple years ago, I had a young student. You know what I'm saying? Young black dude, real smart, bro. That was my nigga. But he had a bad day, and he stepped to me and said he was gonna fuck me up. Now,
Word? You
any
got fucked
teacher,
up?
come on,
He
bro,
had a
look at
bad
me.
day. And
Now,
said-
any teacher, any black teacher who does his job knows he's been told that a time or two. Now, whatever went down, I ain't gonna say too much, even though the situation is resolved.
He jumped your shit.
Nigga, never. Now, the only thing I could tell you is that when everything went down, they told me this. Yo, Super Kev, you was supposed to look out for yourself. So they mad I didn't call the cops on the nigga. Because if I call the cops on him, that's a young black man with a record. And then guess what the front of the newspaper would have said? Young black student threatens teacher. It would have never said
right.
big black math teacher, because that changes the narrative. Niggas would have been like, he
Nah,
could
I
have defended
respect
himself.
you,
bro.
I ain't
Yeah,
called the
yeah,
cops
dog,
on him,
respect.
but I got in trouble. And then that shit's on my record. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on,
DCF
you got in
involved.
trouble for not calling police?
Yo, my nigga. So
Damn.
I'm a nigga. I did that for the niggas. I do a lot of shit for the niggas.
I respect
I
that,
hear
though.
you.
I respect
There's a
that.
bigger
Because-
picture than not
Yeah.
calling.
It is way bigger, and because I do shit like that, I end up in the most trouble. That's why I have to abort mission. See, it's way bigger
rebel in
than
the
just a
building.
black
Sound
man
like
leaving.
dog. I feel
Nah,
you,
it's
dog.
way
I be
bigger.
going through the same
Y'all
dumb
looking
shit,
at it
man.
like, oh, why Super Kev leaving? Yo, it's not just Super
Yo,
Kev
Ron, why you
leaving.
pick up the coffee
Yo,
and not the Henny, dog?
Why is Super
Listen,
Kev
don't worry
getting
about
pushed
it.
away? They laughing about some other shit. They really didn't hear that, so let's say that
my
again.
fault.
say it
Repeat
again,
that,
say it
repeat
again,
that,
Kev.
We
repeat
gotta
that.
do it again. Like, it's not that I'm walking away from these young black people, because honestly, no matter what I do, I'm always gonna be around in the hood, nigga. I'm always here for the niggas. But at the same time, why are they pushing me away? Like, I can only protect my young black niggas so much before I end up in trouble. And on dogs, I've been in trouble for the last like 3-4 years, my nigga, defending young black niggas in that school, keeping them out of suspension, getting them niggas into these big ass
Yo,
schools.
salute.
Lack of fucking debt,
respect
nigga.
it, man.
I'm over there sending niggas, like, I be telling them, yo, straight up, nigga, your grades ain't good enough for you to apply to that school. It ain't worth it. Oh, but I want to, nigga, that's a $50 fucking application fee. Nigga, nope, you might as well buy some forces. And then, nigga, you ain't paying $50,000 a year. Your grades ain't good enough. Go to community college. You need to come out and flip this bread, buy these cribs. How many cribs you got? You over there, oh, you want some forces? You ain't flip no cribs to buy no forces. We got to teach niggas the real. And so that's
Yo, hold on. Can I give a
what's
quick
going
story?
on.
Yo,
So
not to
I'm
cut you
out.
off.
Yo,
Kev.
G,
Yo,
go
hold
on, then.
Yo, real
we'll
quick.
let
It's a
the
real
intern
quick
I
come in.
can't
story.
teach it much longer.
Yo, Our aunt, right? Me and Kev, right? Our aunt, literally, right? She went to community college. She went to RCC, and at RCC, she learned how to flip homes, and she bought a whole shitload of properties, right? And became a millionaire off of owning properties. She then, I salute her, yo. This is my aunt, y'all. I love her, yo. This is my favorite aunt on my mama's side. Then, but like, she had a little situation with one of her tenants. She got so stressed out, she actually sold her properties in the U.S. and moved her ass to Haiti and purchased a fucking mansion and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But she learned all of that shit at a fucking community college. So
they ain't teaching that in public school.
Thank you. So just be mindful. Like,
it goes back to the
way we look at
parents.
education is ass backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and this is why, to me, even though I think college is bullshit,
I ain't learned shit in college.
A piece of me thinks college is actually good, right? Because
I did 5 years, I ain't learned shit.
But for that's Kev. But some people actually
Super
learn
Kev
how to be
majored in
intellectual.
math, nigga. I ain't learned
Intellectuals,
nothing.
when you go to, I think high school, right, teaches you how to actually follow rules. College is supposed to teach you how to be an intellectual, right? It teaches you how to think for yourself, right?
For real?
Well, that's what's supposed to happen.
I ain't learned shit in college, nigga. Them niggas, someone paid for me to be there, nigga.
Come on, yo, Kev, you was a mathematician, bro. You majored in mathematics. Stop it.
So no, he did it for the network. Nigga, I ain't learned shit. What's up? Let's talk about it, nigga. I ain't learned shit.
I mean,
listen.
That's part two.
Before we go back to intern, let me hear what Vu gotta say.
I gotta remember what point.
I just want to.
I get lost, man. So we're talking about.
We're
talking about the 2% of men, right? 2% of black men. First of all, we didn't even talk about that. How important that is. Let me tell you. I went to mad schools, right? Like before I got to high school, I went to 5 different schools between 6th and 8th grade. So when you look at that, right? Like, I went to mad schools. I didn't have the only black male teacher I had in my entire schooling career. I'm talking about grade school to college was a gym teacher. Mr. B, my dog, right? Like, because it was gym class, right? Oh, it was plugged in.
Everybody Gucci.
These niggas
charging
phones and shit.
So,
gotcha, man.
What I'm saying is,
yes.
While I don't, it's not like a humble brag. Like when I hear my man Super Kev saying like, yo, I'm walking away, and he's like, yo, I'm not walking away from the students. I hear that, but yo, you gotta live for yourself. Don't get me wrong, but it's mad important for a young black male to see you as a teacher, as you dressed up, as you as a positive black male role model.
Literally just
they need that.
So you want to know
that. No matter whether or not that black kid is doing well, like boy, girl, whoever. No matter whether or not that minority is doing well in class.
Yo, did you say
they need to see somebody. They need to see somebody who's like, yo.
You said 3rd and 5th grade?
Yeah.
3rd through 5th.
Between 3rd and 5th, right?
Yeah.
Because 3rd is when we can determine if you're gonna end up in jail or not. There's a high probability that your reading scores will dictate.
3rd is when you can determine whether or not you'll get in jail.
Your 3rd grade reading score will dictate if you're gonna end up in prison or not.
Really?
That's not bullshit, bro. But do your homework.
He's actually
I'm
right.
trying to tell you something, bro.
He's referring to there's an actual study. There's an actual study.
All you heard in North Carolina, it was North Carolina, right?
Yeah, it's North Carolina.
All we're saying that is in between 3rd and 5th grade, there was a black man that made a black kid read. That's all I just heard.
All right. So,
but I still think the presence is important.
This goes on to the point that these black young males need to see us. Yo. I work in a charter school right now.
They don't just need to see you. They need to see you do something productive.
They need you to be like a mentor to them.
They need you to read.
Listen. I hear you. Listen, I just literally started an initiative to like reach out to all the black male students.
Why gotta be black? Why are you limiting, dog?
No. Let me speak. Let me speak.
Black people at the bottom, Kev.
Yo, let me speak. I noticed the trend in the school I work at that all the students, the population of male, the students of male.
Black niggas.
Get it out.
Yeah, the black kids in the school was underperforming, but the school wasn't doing shit about it. The school was just like,
why would they?
These niggas at college, right? 3, 4, 5 Fs.
A 4-year college that it takes 6 years to graduate from, right? That's money.
Yes,
that's
I hear you.
So why would they accelerate the learning process?
I got you. All right.
Hit your point.
So these kids was failing, but they was not. They didn't even target them. They weren't reaching out to them. Nothing. So they're going overshadowed. They're not. They're not a problem in the school. They're not troublemakers. They're not gangbangers.
Are they paying on time?
Huh?
Are they paying on time?
It's a charter school, bro.
Hey, yo. They got perfect attendance, yo. They there every day.
So they paying.
Yeah, they say every day, and then nobody's reaching out to them. Nobody's talking to them. They're getting Fs.
Oh, they reaching out.
Nah. Listen,
no
can I say one thing? I'll say this.
I gotta get to
quick.
at some point, but go ahead.
But this is real quick.
Get in.
Unfortunately, I do not work at a high school, but I do work at a university, right?
Yes.
And literally, I deal with black students, both black women and black men, that say to me, "Yo, honestly, G, if it wasn't for you, I would have been dropped out." You know what I mean?
No,
So
I agree.
understand. Just being there, just me being present, makes a humongous difference in their life and in their success.
That's a valid point.
Trust me, like 2% is so low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what we need to do, but we need to figure out a way to get more brothers to become teachers. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
elementary school, middle school, and high school.
Listen.
I was just about to say that. You gotta have the $1 million, right?
I know
Y'all keep violating my man food. This is
Yo,
what I'm trying to get
go
some
ahead.
shit
Yo,
on.
I'm chilling.
Y'all keep saying, yo, hold on. No.
A wise man.
Talk first, please.
Man, you the intern. Go intern, B.
Yo,
See, now
I'm
you
just
ain't gonna
saying.
use your time to flex, my nigga.
No, I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying, dog.
You
This
gotta
is-
be righteous,
the
dog.
I ain't being righteous. I'm just saying, dog.
Disrespect.
I can't say this. At least the intern works at a high school. Come on, yo. He actually has.
His voice is
Yo,
bad.
he
That's
has
why I'm
with
speaking.
it.
Because he works at a high
He
school.
works at a high school.
Yo,
Yo,
listen.
I respect your opinion. Yo, say something real
The
quick.
world want to hear
Listen.
me. What's up?
Damn, y'all niggas
Yo,
just.
fool, you got
Alright, yo,
something to
fool,
say?
go
Because I'm
ahead,
about to
man.
go here.
I just don't speak over people. I'm just like,
So you
yo.
ain't
So
gonna speak,
I
nigga.
was just
It's
gonna say. So
valediction, nigga.
I had the pleasure last month
This
of
nigga writing a
going
letter
to
of
the
recommendation and shit.
inaugural National Black Male Educators convening in Philadelphia. That you know,
he went to
the Black Male Educators for Social Justice fellowship was put together. You have black educators from all over the country, just to address that point that, you know, there is only 2%, and there's not a lot of us.
1.99, I'm out.
There's not a lot of us in the school system, and really just making even the profession a viable option for black males in college, black males who might be thinking of a career switch and want to do something for the community. But, you know, a lot of black males don't look to education, I mean, to be honest, because this is not something that they feel that's going to make them money. So, like, at the...
Yo, that's true.
I just got to
The
keep
wage
it real.
is like heavily. Well, I don't know. Before you
The
jump
wage
in,
gap...
listen, that's true. You know what I mean? Because like people are looking to go get employed. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, yo, and I feel like the teachers don't really get like, or at least that's like the public narrative. Again, this is my ignorant perspective. No. But like, you know, again, it is one of those things where like we gotta I think we should like look at that. Do you either of you have to say before you jump in? I just want to know, is that something that you guys can?
So all right, so let me put it like this, right? Like, there's a financial aspect of why you don't see many black male teachers, right? Like, yo, like you said, the public narrative for, yo, you knew only white female or only white male teachers, right? So you was like, yo, basically, none of them look like me.
Right.
They probably don't make that much money. Why would I go do that? Now, me being as ignorant as I was a couple years ago, I thought the same thing. I fell into teaching, right? Like, I wasn't like, I was a bio major, but I wasn't like a education major with a bio minor. I fell into teaching. So once I learned, like, yo, there's mad money, especially in Boston, there's mad money in teaching, right? Like, Kev could definitely attest to that, right? So,
There
like,
ain't enough
so,
money,
yeah,
though.
right. So
Yeah.
when you look at it, right, like, mad
nigga.
kids that went to college, they go to college that they think they're like, yo, like, I want to be in business, I want to be in pharmaceuticals, I want to be in anything else but teaching, because teachers don't make no money. So that's why that's a huge factor as to if it was better publicized that public schools pay, I think you'd see more black males.
I agree. I think that's the truth, yo.
Yo,
Let
quick.
I'm
I'm gonna be quick. I just got a question to pose. Like, knowing that we are all brothers of color here, right? We all
We're all black, man. Let's go.
all right. So coming up in Boston, being a product, most of us, all of us, we all went to public school, and seeing how it doesn't work when we come out of it. some of us think, why should we go back? Because it's not like it didn't help me, so why should I think it's gonna help them? Some of them don't think. Some of us don't think long term, and I'm just wondering. Maybe these brothers see there's an alternative to the public education system because it doesn't help brothers. And
I'm gonna be honest with y'all because I work in higher education. Yo, I actually feel like I should have went to work at a high school
as a guidance counselor.
As something because I feel like I could get more brothers and more black sisters into colleges because I work at a university. Like I'm dealing with like, admissions go, we try, but there's just not that many actually that are competitive enough to get in. I'm saying, if I actually go to that school, I think I could convince these kids to make themselves competitive. You see what I'm saying? Like, and so that's why I'm saying, like, Vu and Kev, it's a beautiful thing that they are actually teachers and that they're actually present in these kids' lives because when kids see them, at the very least they go, you know what, I'm gonna go hard off of the strength of them. You see what I'm saying? Even if the kid goes,
niggas come to my
I don't want to do it for
I agree
myself.
with, like, black
they do it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Niggas definitely come to my class early.
I think that is important.
Like class start at 10:12. Them niggas be out my door 10:08. I'd be like, nigga,
that
get out of
means
here.
something. That means something.
You know niggas fuck with you. I'm like,
don't take that lightly, man. I'm being honest, yo.
My class is lit. Niggas fuck with me. I be like,
that's dope because that is important. That is real important.
Honestly, that's how it is at my job.
You know that one nigga
who
never
never
show up to school?
Again, I work in higher education.
You know that one nigga who never show up to school? I be like, come to school tomorrow 7:40 just for me because the niggas is bitch and they said you won't do that for me. And niggas be there at 7:35, nigga, waiting for me.
But that's real.
You know what I mean?
I'm being honest. Hold on,
That's
the intern, food, and room have been at my job, right? And, they've seen, like, I get love from my students. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because, I could relate to them. You know what I'm saying? And because I could relate to them, it's like, when they go there, they go like, you know what? They have somebody that has their back. Y'all dudes at these high schools, y'all are that representation. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, to me, it's shameful that it's only 2%. So whatever we got to do to increase that shit, it should be fucking 50%. I don't give a fuck. It should be 50% of brothers going into fucking these teaching to elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. So that way, we can build like competitive black people.
Then get rid of that master's requirement.
Build competitive black people.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. I'm not gonna
get rid of the master's requirement. I'll even go as far to say for the niggas, get rid of the bachelor's requirement. We don't need no diploma to go up in that bitch and be nice.
Well, let's leave it right there.
I was rocking with you with the masters. Once you panic when you said remove the bachelor's.
Unless someone else has something. Actually, now let's move on to the next one.
They gotta fuck it all up, dog.
Go ahead, dog.
Facts.
According to the National Women's Law Center report, black girls are 5.5 times more likely to be suspended than white girls. According to the U.S. Department of Education,
the black girls are ratchet. And I like it. What's up?
According to the U.S. Department of Education, black students are 3.8 times more likely to get suspended than white students. So, what are the causes of these racial?
We just heard it. 70% of teachers are white women. You just said a bunch of racial shit, and I don't know what you said, but it sounds like a bunch of white women calling the shots.
Vu. Yeah,
so all right, So, my experience, it's really knowing how to deal with people, right? Because kids, no matter how old they are, just need somebody to not just listen deal with them, but listen. For real, to listen. Like, I got kids that come in with some fucked up home situations, but I'd be like, you can't.
What about the kid that just come to you with nothing?
I have those kids, but I entertain all of them. You know what I'm saying? So if a kid is like, I have one kid that every day I thought the kid was an axe murderer. I swear to God, right? The kid was like, he don't talk, he don't do shit. You're just like, I'm like, you need to take a walk, bro. Like, do you need like some time to yourself? Do you need to walk around? Like, people don't do that.
Yeah.
People live by that, when you say that zero tolerance shit, people live by that, like, if they're not doing what I want them to do, then they gotta get up out of here.
Yo, you ready for the statement of the year?
But hold on. But I try to be like,
I got
but I
something.
be,
You
yo,
ready?
but my nigga, if I gotta finish my point, then I'm gonna let you take yours. So I'm like, yo, listen, if you're not having a good day, if science isn't what you want to talk about right now, my G, ask me to leave the room. You know what I'm saying? But don't be that dickhead in my class, cause I'm gonna be a dickhead right back to you. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be like, yo, dog, you really not about to disrespect me in front of all these other kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not about to show everybody else I can't handle my class. You about to get handled.
Of the year. Statement of the year.
Kev.
School is not a prison.
School is not a prison.
So no matter what you deal with, right?
What you say?
So when you got a kid acting up, if you remember that school is not a prison, that will impact how you handle that situation.
Right.
So by remembering school is not a prison, not everybody has to learn at 7:45 in the morning. Some niggas don't. Their brains don't work until 10 o'clock. So then, nigga,
torture.
So you got detention at 3:30, my nigga. I'll see you later, cause you don't work in the morning. So I'll see you in the afternoon. Yeah. Or you don't work until after lunch. So go get your little fucking snack, and I will see you.
Oh man, that's so
lunch.
important, dog.
Like little shit like that.
Food out left and right at my school.
He's like, yo, that nigga need a snack.
Yo, I have kids.
Eat that fucking apple, son.
Yo, you need some protein in your life.
Yo, I be handing out Chewy bars, cause kids, cause when you think about it, kids are mad prideful, right?
No GMOs,
nigga. So they gonna come in. They're not gonna be like, yo. They're not gonna be like,
Growling, they ain't gonna say nothing.
You know what I'm saying? I had a kid come up to me and was like, yo, Mr. Vu, can I get, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm mad hungry. Can I get a snack? And, you know, I'm not gonna be like, yo, you hungry? Like, do I need to file the report? I'm gonna be like, yo, let me slide you a couple things. You know what I'm saying?
Let them know they ain't hungry and that they just want something. Let them know you ain't hungry, nigga. Your ribs ain't
He gonna apply that way. That's dope. That's dope.
I'm 100% on that, yo. But I got the story I gotta explain,
what
yo.
the fuck? I got a story.
Yo, no, it's quick. I'm gonna keep it simple because niggas
Real
like
dudes
cutting me
talking
off because
about
I'm
real
the
shit.
intern.
Yo, go, man.
But that was the incident at this high school I used to work at. Public school. It was a public school. Black male student said, jokingly said, "I'm gonna shoot up the high school."
Nah, you don't joke like
All
that.
right, cool.
Yeah, there was mad
The white teacher, this white teacher said,
yeah, but that was before fucking all of this crazy
That's
shit
true.
going on.
All right, so the white teacher took extreme measures to make sure police came to search the kid's crib.
To that teacher.
He turned comment said, then nigga, the computer's like, what
Go ahead.
Disrespect.
Here's
Yo,
the
fool, you
story
good, dog?
time. Yo, there was an incident at this old high school I used to work at. This black male student said, "I'm gonna shoot up the school," jokingly. And
you
then
don't joke like that.
a white teacher overheard him say that, so she took extreme measures to make sure the kid got suspended.
You know why? Because white kids would definitely shoot this bitch up.
Okay, let me finish.
Shit.
No.
She made sure. Alright, cool.
Yeah.
She made sure the kid got suspended for a week.
That's great.
Police searched his crib. The parents were notified.
That's right.
And he learned a lesson.
Yo, intern, what the fuck you bring
Let
this up?
me finish. Let me finish.
We gotta talk about girls, right?
And the school's ending, right? White kid comes in. Yo, I'm gonna shoot the school up. Same white teacher. One of my black male students said, "Hey, yo, it's funny how black people only shoot somebody they're looking for, but when white people get angry and want to shoot, they shoot up. They do mass shootings." She looks at the white boy person who said, "I'm gonna shoot up the school," and looked at him. I was like, "I know it's right," and walked out the door.
So what is that to say to the racial disparities from, you know what I mean? Like,
so
for girls
I'm just
itself,
saying the unconscious bias that she had against the black male student who said, "I'm gonna shoot up the school," and that white male student and laughed it off and walked away and went home, is you should be more conscious of the actions you do and how people view those actions, because the students were saying that, hey, she did all of that to get that black kid suspended, but she didn't do shit for him. And this kid,
this white girl's just racist.
Yeah.
So for me, right?
Okay, yeah, but can we get back on subject?
When you talk about girls, like girls themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like yo, like there's no denying on a emotional level. You know what I mean? On an emotional level, girls, boys at the same age are different, right? Like when you talk about high school girls that get in trouble, you got to look at like what you said earlier about they're coming from being abused, they're coming from using, and some of them are coming from all of that in one. You know what I'm saying? So when these girls act out in school, them being disproportionately suspended is a result of not taking the time to figure out what's going on. And not every kid is gonna be like, yo,
5 minutes to listen to him.
exactly. So not even if I did take the 5 minutes, not every kid's gonna be like, yo, Mr. Vu, here's exactly what's going on. I don't expect that. I don't expect them to. But like, if you don't do that to begin with, and your thought process is like, all right, well, I don't care to find out what's going on. What you're doing now is what I'm focused on, because people don't realize we get the reaction. At home, they get the action. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's what I have to say.
I feel you. Anyone got anything else to say on this? I want to jump on to the next one. Fu.
I mean, for the girls, I just feel like, there's a lot of trauma that a lot of our young women are dealing with, especially in the Black community, and unfairness, emotion, socialization. Women are socialized differently. Often women do better in school because they're socialized to be able to sit and listen. But a lot of when you have girls getting suspended, you're really talking about a lot of interpersonal problems where you're dealing with bullying, other girls, rumors, things. And it's even in the cyberbullying age, it's even more, because it used to be you talk shit about somebody, it might carry down the hallway or carry to the next classroom. Now it's like your whole neighborhood knows. Not only your whole neighborhood, everybody on Instagram,
you don't even know
Instagram, Facebook. You know what I mean? It's like,
not to control.
Yeah.
My apologies, but to add on to what Fool's saying, I'll take it a step further. Yo, because the vast majority of these teachers are white women, yo, just because these are Black sisters doesn't mean they can relate. So when they see these sisters, they go, yo, you know what? Their inner racism just kicks in. They go like, you know what? We not rocking with you. Oh, damn. Thank you, brother. All right, my man. Yo, they just go like, yo, you know what? They look at you like, you know what? You just like these Black men. Because they can't see the similarities.
I gotta disagree with the racism part. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's always a racist.
Let me keep it 100 with y'all. Let's stop this shit right fucking now.
They got direct.
Yo, listen here, right? Well, because I actually looked this up.
You know what you talking
Nah, I'm gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these white teachers, right? They don't. Again, these aren't like. They wasn't raised around Black people. You know what I'm saying? So they see certain things and they just go like, yo, why the fuck is Shaniqua acting up? Why the fuck is Tanisha acting up? Why the fuck is Marcus acting up? Daquan acting up? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they weren't around. They didn't grow up around Black people. And if, let's just say, you know, a lot of these white people, they want to be these fucking token saviors, right? They want to save Black people. You know what I'm saying? So they feel like, oh, yo, Black people are inferior. I'm here to save them. I want to work at an inner city because I'm trying to change their lives. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that, you're just as bad as an openly racist person. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going in there thinking that they're inferior.
This special fucking,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. 100. So y'all can front all y'all want, you know what I'm saying? But like, let's just keep it real. These people come in here thinking that they're going to be a white savior to Black kids. Yo, fuck out of here, dog. That's a problem too.
It's not that I don't think it happens. I just refuse to allow you. I just refuse to think that all white teachers have that.
I'm not saying all. Hold on,
you know what I'm saying? I know you don't. But like my connotation is the generalization leads to all.
I'm saying there's enough. I'm gonna be real with you, right? Yo, hold on. Let me finish. Yo, I will be real. I've actually had white teachers, right, that actually did good by me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, like, yo, all white teachers were devils, this, that, and the third. I'll be lying if I said that shit. You know what I'm saying? However.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear you say it, but yeah.
Come on, son. Respect yourself, dog. I'm just,
go ahead. Black
don't mean I'm anti-white.
I hear you.
But anyways, because I've seen enough white people, right, growing up, that I know could clearly not give a fuck. I've seen white teachers. I'm like, yo, why the fuck are you teaching at a fucking inner city school? Why the fuck are you teaching Black kids? You clearly don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
used to, though.
but why? Because this is a comfortable job. They know if they fuck up, they're not gonna get fired. You know what I'm saying? They got a union backing them. You know what I'm saying? So that they're comfortable.
They'll
so they
get
can
access,
say
though.
disrespectful shit. They can fucking practically disrespect us every day,
I
and
feel
they
you.
know, like, yo, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Nah, they be
You see what
out
I'm
of there.
saying?
They'll get their asses the fuck out of there.
Yo, listen, yo, I remember.
All right.
I'm gonna say this dude's name. Yo, Mr. Krauser. Right? Yo, kids was so fucking OD. They hated him so much. Yo, hold on. They hated this motherfucker so much. We used to throw fucking pennies and dimes at him. They hated this motherfucker so much. They stole his car, bro. He didn't get his car back. Hold on. He didn't get his car back till 2 weeks later. And then the
He didn't get his
motherfucker.
car back till fucking
Yo, my
2
nigga,
weeks.
yo, my middle school was live, son. Yo, Kev, let's keep it on. Our middle school was live.
2 weeks
Yo,
later,
they gave it back. Yo, they gave it back. Niggas took his tires, dog. They parked that shit on fucking bricks. Yo, the niggas closed on bricks. My middle school, yo, the Lawrenceburg was real. The Lawrenceburg
Good thing
got
that
closed
school
down.
don't exist
That
anymore.
school, yo, honestly, my elementary school, my middle school, nigga, my high school's almost closed down, dog. This shit's crazy.
Nah, they gonna hold the high school down. Still.
Now my
They
high
need to.
school's,
They need to.
it's on level 4. They say.
I went
Yo,
to
he
the
waited
gym,
2
so I
weeks
don't
to
know
get
what
the
he's
shit
talking
back.
Yo, they
crazy, dog.
violated him, son. You know why they violated him? Because he
wild,
never gave a
dog.
fuck
That's
about black
crazy.
kids. If you don't give a fuck about black kids, why the fuck are you teaching out a predominantly black fucking middle school? Yo, it's
I just
wild,
couldn't
son. I'm
imagine
saying,
that,
yo, I'm being honest with y'all.
Right, I be
Yo,
living.
I respect y'all because y'all black men helping out black kids, even if y'all helping out all kids, right? Because even me,
Yeah, all lives matter,
yo,
man.
I'm gonna be 100 with
I don't
y'all,
give a
right?
fuck what color
Yo,
you are. You come to
y'all
my
don't
class,
believe
I fuck
this,
with you.
but if y'all come to my job, y'all be shocked. Yo, I get respect from fucking Asian kids, Latino kids, and white kids. I literally have
everyone
white
knows
kids
Latino
that go,
equals
they come to
black,
my
though.
I
office,
got you.
and they know all I speak is pro-black shit, but they still fuck with me. You know why? Because, yo, I believe in love. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again, I could be
Why
pro-black
you always trying to
and
take
still
my mic?
fuck with
This is-
everybody.
Yo,
Yeah.
answer
Why?
this
Because
shit
we're
very quick,
universal
dog.
people.
I gotta move on to
Yo,
the next
yo,
question.
no,
My
Mike
fault.
G.
No, I'm just.
It's like all different races always fuck with the black staff at a high school and in the public school period.
Because
Like,
we got
they feel
love,
like they
dog.
can open up to you.
They ain't no
about
hate in our
anything.
heart, bro.
Fact.
Yo, I swear to
that's
God,
fine, I agree with
nigga,
that.
I be showing up to work right on time. Like, nigga, if the bell ring at this time, I'm there 30 seconds before it ring. I don't even want to show up early.
Shameful.
Yo,
Hey.
nah, but listen though, this is funny, nigga.
Nigga say, yo, nigga, I show right on
It's a
time.
business, dog. It's a business.
I ain't
Yo,
mad at
listen.
you.
And I know, and hold on, listen, and I'm
Yep.
smooth enough to show up and get my work done. But yo, these niggas can't wait till I be at the door, nigga. These
Facts.
niggas tell me everything about their life.
Facts.
I be looking
That's
at
what's
them
up.
like, yo, bro, it's cold, nigga. I just walked in.
Facts.
How you
Yo,
doing?
I love that y'all. As soon as
Yo.
I love y'all this much.
Yo, these niggas just be like, and by the way, my cat jumped up. I'm like, yo, wow. I'm happy for you. You want to
dope.
hug or something? And these niggas be like, yeah. I be like, damn, nobody
But it
hug you,
means
nigga.
something to them,
So
man.
Yo,
fuck
it
it, come
does.
get a
You know
hug,
why? Because, yo,
everybody
they
need a
can
hug
talk
from
to
Super
you
Kev.
where they probably couldn't even talk to their own parent,
They
bro.
can't. That's why they need a nigga like me to
That's-
just listen to
that's
this.
important.
That's why I'm saying you can't.
So it
Yo,
comes back
that's
to
what I'm
the
saying. You
parents'
can't
point. So
walk
what you
away.
trying to say
Yeah, you
is-
talking about I'm about to quit. Yeah,
I'm
all
out.
right, dog. You better respect yourself.
Y'all niggas, y'all
Listen,
blow
we
me
gotta-
up another one, nigga. We talk about episode number
Yes.
5 now.
Nah,
Nah,
I was ready for you to go to the next point.
All right, well, yeah, we gotta move on. Yo.
It ain't about me no more, man. It's bigger than me.
So listen, according to the New York Civil Liberties Union,
Oh, yeah, what's
in 2016, 99% of the New York City school children who were handcuffed were black or Latino. To be specific, To be specific, that's 259 out of 262. Is this an example of systemic racism, or is this a response to our children's poor behavior in school?
Hey, yo, let's add
Fuck
one more to
yeah.
that. Let's add
Fuck
one more.
yeah.
It's
Your
systemic
racism.
Your world
These
famous
fucking
math
devils.
teacher got
Yeah.
arrested too. Fuck the police. Fuck everybody. Everybody know this shit. Yo,
It's kinda
and the
yes.
funniest thing is
Wow.
when they arrest black niggas. The funniest thing is when you laugh at them in their face, nigga. They get so mad, dog.
I can imagine.
And then when you tell them, yo, nigga,
But-
look at
I
my
don't think we
mugshot.
should
I'm
be
laughing
giving
at you.
I don't think we should be giving this advice, but
No,
No,
this isn't
no.
advice. I'm just
My fault
imagining
for
that
keeping it real,
if
so
you
let's
do
go back
laugh
to
in their
being
face, they be
political.
fucking
Yo,
livid.
I believe.
I appreciate your sentiments, Kev.
I believe.
you're
yes.
glad, fool.
What
Yo,
up, fool?
so
Fuck it, I'm out of that one.
basically,
Abort.
I don't know, at a 99% ratio, where black men are getting chained and locked up like animals, that we can say that it's merely a point of behavior. There has to be something.
That's good, and this nigga just did that.
Yo, why you say yo?
There has to be a point too. Are the schools accountable for their cultural competence and how they're interacting with these students? Because
once again, what are you talking about?
No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Kev, let him build.
I'm talking. What I'm talking about is the mindset that the black male or the black student is a threat. You know what I mean? We just talked about black women and their struggles and getting suspended. I'm not talking about all that. I'm not talking about all that right now.
You can absolutely say that.
I'm just saying.
Ahead,
I'm talking about these individual students who are getting handcuffed and at that rate, even 262 students.
259 out of 262.
That's crazy. Like, come on.
Well over 99.
Getting locked up.
Yeah, that might be 99.5.
That's 99.
Can I give him my opinion? I went to South Boston High, Excel High, right? And I kid you not, right? After I got kicked out of Boston Arts Academy, right? They sent me to Southie, right? And it was between Southie or Dorchester High. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? They sent me they were like, yo, you got two options. The worst schools in Boston. And I was like, damn, son. I was like, Southie's racist. But I was like, nigga, but Dorchester High, son, that's like the bottom. I was like, yo, fuck it. I'll just go to Southie, right? Mm-hmm. When I went to Southie, kid you not. Yo, there was metal detectors. Every day, son, you got to go through a metal detector. All kind of crazy shit. Mm-hmm. But, yo, I kid you not. Yo, there was a white kid in my class. You know this motherfucker used to shoot heroin in between his toes?
What the fuck?
Yo, kid you not. You know why?
I heard that before.
He shot it in between his toes because he didn't want people to see any marks on his arms. You know what I'm saying? So now, yo, that's just so crazy though, right? Teachers knew this motherfucker was on drugs.
Be knowing everything. They
ain't fucking expel him. They ain't do none of that shit.
Can they?
Southie though, hold on, Southie had a large population of Cape Verdeans and African Americans, right? Yo, let African Americans or the Cape Verdean students do any of that shit. You're fucking expelled.
It's
over. But
he's lying.
I'm not lying.
Well, I hope the response to I hope the response to any child who is dealing with a drug problem.
You need to go get a fucking diploma.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're a black man looking out for another black man. We're talking about majority black. We're talking about majority white women.
You telling me I don't teach white niggas who be the shit in their bottle don't be looking like high C?
I don't think you listen to what I'm saying, Kev.
I don't think you listen to what I'm saying.
Yo, Kev, listen to what I'm saying. I know. I agree with you. I actually agree with you. I know you would be like, yo.
First and foremost, you need to bring back a diploma. I don't give a fuck how you killing yourself. Your number one responsibility is to your family and to your hood. Bring back a diploma.
So now
let's deal with all the other shit later.
Thank you, Kev. I know you.
Super Kev.
You would actually do it.
Kev.
Ultra Boss Stone Kev.
Yes.
I know you would do that.
Right.
But now,
that's right, nigga.
The vast majority of teachers, Def won it. However, because he was white, they seen something in him, and they're just like giving him chances.
At the end of the day, how many black niggas
Let
do
a black motherfucker fucking come into the school shooting up heroin in between his toes.
How many black people actually did that?
About it. None. You know why? Because none of us was doing heroin.
Yo,
the max we would do was weed.
Listen,
that's what I was saying. It's a black person doing heroin.
I teach like 2 or 3 white niggas a year at my school.
Fact, no lie.
Hold on. I got some
Say that again. What did you say?
I teach like.
Fact.
He teaches white niggas, people.
Hold on.
He teaches white niggas.
On a good year. Hold on, chill. Listen. On some nigga shit.
On some nigga shit.
On some nigga shit.
Yo, on some nigga shit. What
But go ahead though.
I'm listening.
Yo, Bill, go ahead.
I'm trying to build some
Let me add
bullshit.
this real quick.
Let my nigga build some
You
shit.
said 2-3 white niggas, yo. Literally,
Oh my
last
God.
year,
We really gonna
last
say
year at
this
the
to
high
white
school
niggas?
I worked
Let's go.
at,
I fuck with white niggas.
there was no white females. There was no white females in that 9th grade cohort that came in, and was like 2 white males. This year, at the charter school I work at, there's only 3 white females and 1 white male. That's 4 white students.
Yo, I'm deep in the hood. We only got
They
like
don't get.
1 1 white nigga per year. I'm only saying 3 to be politically correct. At the end of the day, it'd be like 1 nigga. Yo, so listen,
That shit about to change, but trust me, justification's coming.
it ain't changing
Justification's
anytime
coming.
soon, but whatever, it don't matter.
Yeah.
The point is, every year I only got like 1 nigga who be drunk in school.
Drunk? In high school?
Nigga, it's
What? Why you acting surprised,
Why you
bro?
acting surprised?
Yo, and Metco
Alright.
cats used to put vodka instead of water
Hold
in their
on,
water
hold on.
bottles
How
on
many
the reg.
how many niggas I got in my class
High
every
school,
year?
nigga. Yeah.
what-
these
how
white
many
boys
school y'all
crazy.
went to?
No.
These
How
white
many
boys
niggas-
crazy.
how
They
many
used to be
niggas
drunk
I
at school
got?
all the time.
You
Go
say
ahead.
niggas clarify.
You know what kind of niggas I'm talking about?
I don't know what kind of niggas you talking
Yo,
about. White
niggas
white
are-
niggas.
Thank you. I only
Niggas
got
is a
1.
general
And
term
how
for
many
people
niggas be
in this
drunk every year?
conversation.
It be
So that's why I'm supposed to say
nigga.
white niggas.
So if you want to go,
I don't even know what the
numbers,
question
I'm a
is
mathematician,
anymore,
right?
dog.
If you
Yo,
want
what
the
is the
percentage-
question, dog? Y'all
Nah,
going all
what I'm
over the
trying to
place.
say
We're talking
is
about the
percentage-
handcuffed kids.
This is the handcuff
the
joke. We're gonna move on to the
percentage-
next one. As soon as I see that shit straight, I start to move.
Yo, my fault, bro. Go to that
Nah,
shit,
it's
man.
all good.
They're
It's all
gonna watch
good.
this clip back and they're gonna be like, oh, he just forced it right there.
Yo, listen.
Yeah. No more drinks for Kev.
This is a good. This is a good one. This is a good one.
Birthday, dog.
This is a
Nah,
good
these
one.
niggas ain't listening to me. I just said how many niggas I got and how many of them be drunk. I'm trying to make a point, but nobody
but-
want to do
Yo,
it.
Kev.
Now,
Hey,
Yo, time out. Yo, Kev, are you drunk right now?
plead the 5th. Next question.
Listen, in 2003,
Let's
the
go.
Yo,
hu-
fool look upset, bro.
No, I'm good.
Nah, Foosh.
Dog, he's on his high frequency.
He on his highest
High
self.
Who's on the
frequency,
frequency,
bro.
dog? He's
His
on the
highest
5th
self,
level,
like, yo,
nigga.
what
Come to
the
the ether,
fuck?
dog.
He's trying
These niggas are beneath me.
Yo,
Anyway,
yo,
what's your
hold
question,
on,
dog?
he on
What's
his
the
highest
question,
self.
dog?
Let's go.
In 2003, the Harvard Educational Review published an article.
That shit sound expensive.
It published an article that claimed bias against African American students who took the SAT college admissions test.
Kev, this is
And
you.
in 2010, Maria V. Santelisis and Mark Wilson confirmed that the SAT scores African Americans and white subgroups differently. So is the Scholastic Aptitude Test racist?
First off,
Ask fool this question.
Fuck your
Let's go.
bitch in the
my
clip
nigga
you
Fool, I
click
need
on.
everybody rocking with me right now.
Yo,
First
Fool,
off,
yo, he talking
this
to you.
shit- Yeah, what's good?
What?
my nigga?
Are the SATs racist?
Are the
Hold on.
SATs racist?
First off,
Do you
it
guys-
ain't even called Scholastic Aptitude Test. That shit need to stop, nigga. SAT don't stand for nothing. So let's not even violate the
SAT don't
viewers.
stand for
Yeah,
nothing.
don't stand for
Yeah.
that.
It don't stand for
Drop-
shit. That
drop
shit back in
bars.
California, I think back in the 70s
Yo.
got abolished,
Drop
nigga.
bars.
That shit is zip. That shit don't stand for nothing. So let's get that out the way. Second, is it a fucking racially biased test?
Okay.
I got you. We already spoke about this. You already know where I'm going. Are y'all ready? Viewers, y'all ready?
Yo,
Yes.
Fool,
All right.
Fool gonna answer,
Fool, you
nigga.
ready? All right, everybody, I need you to
can't do
close your eyes with me 1 second, nigga.
Close your eyes,
on
fool.
some nigga shit. I'm
Yo,
gonna take
close
a
your eyes,
sip.
fool. Oh, yo, Fool, close your eyes for real.
Okay.
I'm
I want
watching
to
you. Close your fucking eyes, man.
I'm gonna close my
No
eyes.
more
right
drinks
now.
with G.
Fool, meditate.
No more drinks for G,
Yo,
dog.
everybody
No more
close
drinks
I'm
for
not
G.
even drunk, bro.
It don't matter if you're drunk.
I'm
You're gonna
the
get there with me
driver,
right
dog.
now.
Watch your
Because
mouth,
watch.
bro.
Yo,
I
just
got a
paint the
grown
picture,
I
Kev.
got a
Yo,
grown ass
Drake,
man.
dog.
Pause that whole.
Yo, just
Close your
that-
fucking eyes.
You got a grown ass man talking about
I ain't
close your
fucking
eyes,
gay.
yo.
How's that
niggas ain't
pause?
kids.
See, listen, there's no trust in the black community. You can't.
How
what
is
is
that
happening?
pause?
Go ahead,
Yo,
go ahead,
Kev,
go ahead.
please
Go
continue
ahead.
your
I'm,
point.
I'm speaking to the niggas that's listening. I don't even fuck with these niggas in the room right now. So everybody, close your eyes.
Go ahead,
Alright.
Kev.
Eyes
And I
wide
want you to.
eyes wide
I want
shut.
you to think of a salsa, and the first thing that pops into your head
Yo, Fool,
will
answer
tell
that.
you if you black or white.
Answer that.
Yo, yeah,
What is
fool.
a salsa?
What's a salsa?
Saucer?
A saucer?
What do you
Yo,
think of when I say?
S-A-U.
Let him answer it. Answer it.
C-E-R.
What do you think of?
Saucer.
What do you
You
think
want
of?
me to use my Boston accent? A salsa.
Yo, answer that.
What do you
Like
think
a
of?
like a flying saucer?
See, you're a
There
nigga.
you go.
That's my point. Okay, so
Alright.
that's
Answer the
the
question.
answer.
You didn't want to
No, he
ask me
just
that.
answered
I'll
it.
give you my
No,
answer.
he answered it.
Fool, answer that.
Nigga, I'm thinking of a milk saucer, like what a cat would lick milk out of.
What the fuck?
Oh, like a
right.
plate.
He's
Oh,
right.
It's a plate.
Alright, so we got a nigga here. And we got a
And
nigga
we got
from
an
out the
educated
hood.
nigga.
We got an educated nigga.
Hey, we got a nigga, educated.
We got a
We got a
nigga,
Roxbury nigga and a fucking.
No, I didn't know. Are you alluding to the
He
shape?
said he's gonna go somewhere.
A saucer?
He said
So
this
here's
earlier
where
to
we
me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So here's where we going. So right
Okay.
there, right? So you talking to an educated nigga. Sometimes I'm educated, sometimes I'm a nigga, so I play both sides. So anyways, a salsa, right? Based on where you from. If you from the hood, nigga, and you hear salsa, you definitely thinking about flying salsa with some fucking lights in the dark and some shit. Some UFO shit, nigga.
Yo, food, death
Yeah,
out that.
Definitely.
Illuminati shit.
But if you from an affluent situation,
Bruh.
Okay, I'm trying to be politically correct here.
Yeah.
For
Bruh.
white niggas and shit. But if you're from an affluent situation, you then think of a salsa as a small plate in which you probably eat cheesecake off of. Thus,
Eat cheesecake.
I want some cheesecake.
So
right
you're
now.
talking about
Yeah, okay, but what
you're
does
talking
this
about
have to do with the
linguistics and
question?
etymology.
Hold on,
Don't
that's
let 'em know.
perfect. That's actually hold on, yo.
One more time, fool.
The
What did he
fact
say
that
to
you
me?
He
didn't
said this
realize
to
it,
me
right? Listen to Food's answer and listen to your answer. This nigga thought UFO.
Oh, I got you.
This
You
nigga
saw
thought-
a fucking plate.
That's my point. So when I ask the same question across the country, and I use one word that culturally has a difference based on your demographic and your geography. In the Northeast, I'm from where a UFO, I mean a salsa is a UFO, nigga. We ain't grow up with small plates, nigga. There was a fucking plate, and there's a big spoon, and there's a little spoon, nigga. And that's it. I don't know all that extra shit.
I don't know that extra
Listen,
shit
Yo,
either, nigga.
you put the plate on the
Y'all
left.
grew up in the
you
same
put
house,
So
though?
basically,
that's that cultural difference. That's that shit that once you talk about Saturday morning,
salute, man.
come on, bro. I've been on.
Yo,
this
I just
shit.
want to make sure that's clear what he's saying.
Yo,
so
listen.
basically, if the SATs ask you what's a saucer, right, and the answer you give is UFO, but the answer on the SATs
It's a fucking plate,
It's
but you never
plate.
heard of a fucking
Oh, so
plate.
can I make an
That's a
cultural.
since I'm
So they
undereducated?
purposely
Can
make
I
it-
can I make
just straight
bias.
can I make an
Henny
uneducated
Ice,
statement
nigga.
about the
Let me hear
SATs?
food.
I'm a
Yo,
drop.
you rock with that?
So,
No, I was
Nah,
fucking
niggas
with
mean,
Go ahead.
nigga.
So if anybody has ever looked at the development,
so before we get to the actual test,
I'll speak next year.
taking strategies behind the
speak
exams
next year.
in which I teach, because I'll get a nigga 800. I don't give a fuck. I'm a nigga from the hood.
800, nigga.
Because that's a
Yo, it's worth
teachable
1,600
exam.
now.
That's an algebra 1, algebra. Oh, this the math part, because I don't read no
Hey, y'all
more.
niggas beefed
But,
up the numbers.
I don't read.
nigga, I talk numbers,
No,
bro.
bro, it used to be
Algebra
24
1,
on
algebra
that.
2,
Yeah.
geometry.
I'm
If
good.
you know those subjects, I could get you an 800.
I'm good.
Yo, intern, give me my fucking drink, man.
But
Listen, hang on.
culturally, based on where you are from, the meaning of words change. Thus, to have the same test throughout the entire country is definitely racially fucking biased, because a nigga in Mattapan in the Northeast is different from a nigga in Arizona. Shout out to my Arizona niggas.
I
Shout
hear
out
you.
to my
You raise a
Florida
valid
niggas.
point.
All right,
Yo,
But
fool,
we
go
all
ahead.
actually good. That's
Jump
a
in,
great.
fool.
That's a great alley oop, because I was just gonna say, since I'm educating everything, I was just gonna say if you ever research
respect
the,
yourself, man.
if
You
you ever
educated
research
brother,
the, if you ever research,
You my fucking host, nigga. You
if you
educated.
ever
keep
research,
talking.
We all
Violate, nigga.
educated here.
Keep talking.
Yo, don't let the N-word fool you.
Listen.
Niggas got diplomas in this bitch.
Exactly.
Ain't no one down
We got
there.
masters in this motherfucker, nigga.
And I ain't got a master's. I'm about to print my own, nigga. I'm
It's
basically
a lot.
Yo, fool, I would love to hear your point, dog.
Thank you.
I would love to hear your point,
We
dog.
about to
So
forfeit.
if you
I'm
ever,
about to
if you
forfeit.
actually,
I'm about to counterfeit.
Listen,
Listen, guys,
nigga.
can we let food talk, please?
Nah, it's the L edition. Let me just
It's the
tell
L
niggas.
edition,
Nah,
nigga.
you
Let us
gotta let food
celebrate,
talk.
nigga.
Hold on. How
Let's
many?
celebrate,
How
nigga.
many niggas is printing their own masters?
so
degrees,
ordinarily,
nigga?
I would even repeat myself like this. You know what I mean? But this is vital information for the people. So I'm
I
at.
said vital. I got
So the SATs itself was actually started in California by eugenicists. You can. A lot of people don't know that. Damn.
Started in
I said
California
California
by
earlier, by the way.
eugenicists.
Yes, the SAT. If you
Eugenesis or
look at,
eugenics?
huh?
Eugenesis or
The
eugenics?
same shit, nigga.
I mean, eugenics.
You know what he
Eugenics
meant. How
would
about
be.
that? You know
Yes,
what
eugenics would be.
I didn't know if it was a different
Yeah,
company.
fool.
No,
or,
no, no, no. A
Proper
eugenicist
shit.
My
is.
nigga, I'm just trying to figure out if you meant a
eugenicist is-
company or if you meant a fucking ideology.
SAT
My
word.
nigga, like,
A eugenicist is one who practices eugenics. So
thank you. Thank you for clearing that
Whip
shit
out
up
the
for
big
me,
words.
dog.
Y'all niggas-
I was just trying to get cleared up.
Educated niggas can't be acting like this.
Hey, yo, man, I need a word bigger than
Anyway,
that
go
N-word.
ahead. Yo, go ahead.
Listen,
I wish I could remember homeboy's name, but the SATs was the standardized aptitude
It
test.
don't stand for that no more. Stop saying that shit. It don't
said
stand
it
But,
stand
for
but
that.
go ahead. It was created by
Go ahead.
Yeah, it
eugenicists.
was created in California for the purpose of actually separating people into intellectual tiers.
And I believe in that, by the way.
That's something I was actually going to
I believe
mention
in
Chill, 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 chill.
about
Hey,
our
chill.
school system. And I think we're talking about we're talking about like fighting within the school paradigm that was created against us, right? Instead of really talking about what are ways that we can create paradigms.
Hold on, we gonna get to the solution.
Paradigms.
Yeah, not yet.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there
That's
in a
the
little bit.
solution. Yeah, I got you.
Later on.
I got you.
If I can't get to the solutions, you can't.
Yo, Vu, did you have anything else to add?
About the SAT itself.
SAT.
Sorry, I will never fake the funk for nobody. I was never a straight A student.
For real?
I didn't fucking pass. My SAT. I did worse the second time I took a SAT. So like here's what I'm trying to tell you. And I still
hang on.
and I still ended up as a biology teacher. You know what I'm saying? So I still passed. I still got my degree no matter what. The SAT itself, though.
What you scored?
I wasn't, my nigga, I was a 1600, like at the very best, and that was when it was worth the 12. That's when it was worth the 24. So I wasn't, I wasn't good at the SAT. I'm not good at standardized tests.
I'm not good at standardized tests.
So some niggas, some niggas inherently just don't take those tests well.
Take a test,
you know what I mean? Like, you do
multiple choice shit.
You do multiple choice.
Multiple choice is too easy.
But hold on.
Well,
so when you look at that, some
type
of kids just don't do well like that. Some type of kids have too many options and just like, I can't actually do that.
Multiples is 2, nigga.
See,
all right, but that's all I really had to say.
Listen, guys. Did he have anything else to say?
Nah, all I'm saying was like, I know myself, right? Like I wasn't good at an SAT.
Yeah.
Inherently racist, I couldn't, because my educational background, I didn't find it that way. But from the test you just did, right? Like for a saucer for me was the thing a cat licked milk out of. And from what he thought, so from what a nigga who thought like he thought it was a flying saucer like a UFO. You know what I'm saying? So like I can't say from my perspective I didn't think it was inherently racist because of the educational background I came into it.
Where you came,
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
That should because if it's a standardized test, that means everybody should be at the same. Someone should be in the same range of a standard. You get what I'm saying? Like there should be a certain spectrum of
standard.
Right. Everyone should have some basis of knowledge.
Crazy? The national standards, at least for mathematics, the national standards are available online. So if you
it is for bio too.
To be lined up. It's right there. The question is, how many leaders, how many principals are ensuring that their, at least math teachers, are teaching the standard base and not just emotional base? Because honestly, I can teach emotionally. I can go up in front of a class, teach you what I think you should know, and we can talk all day, all night.
Right.
But I got a test to prepare you for.
Yep.
Yo, G, you're the only one who hasn't spoken yet. You got anything to add? And after that, we're gonna go on to the next one.
Fuck with me, nigga. When I speak, it's like him speaking, nigga. I fuck with you.
I never got to finish my statement.
Hold on, what's the
nigga
fucking
question?
The question,
the
question was about the SAT. Is it racist?
You're the reason for the rest of this conversation.
Erudition's hitting, nigga.
Hold on, the SAT.
This nigga said respect himself. He already faded.
I'm gonna say whatever my nigga Kev said, nigga.
Whatever.
I'm gonna bring y'all to the promised land.
But listen, Dorchester is 44% black.
Roxbury, not enough though.
Roxbury 62%
Let's
black.
fucking go.
Hold on, and Mattapan is 81%.
Drop a ball,
nigga. Yo. How come the 28 was good?
So listen, according
28 and 31, nigga.
According to BostonPublicSchools.org, Boston Public Schools 2015 to 2016 student dropout rates. Student dropout rates. Grove Hall, Roxbury, Upham's Corner, Common Square, and Mattapan have the highest high school dropout rates in the city. What do you think that is? What are the factors that cause higher dropout rates in our communities?
Answer, nigga.
Oh, that's easy. That's what the niggas is in the hood at. That's what niggas is getting shot at.
Shit.
That's what niggas getting shot at.
No. It's where, he's
true.
How can you tell? No. How can you tell? No, hold on. Let me make my point real quick. I'm not even a nigga that's from Boston, right? Like I'm a nigga that grew up outside of Boston.
Okay.
But when you hear of every tragic shooting, right, of a kid getting shot, nigga, you hear of Mattapan, Roxbury, Dorchester, right? What? How can you tell a nigga who's dodging bullets to stay in school when that nigga's getting clapped at almost every day?
According to the United States Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights, elementary and secondary schools with large numbers of black and Hispanic students are less likely to have experienced teachers, advanced courses, high quality instructional materials and
I'll tell you about that.
adequate facilities.
Hey, yo,
why is there such a vast disparity between black and white schools in the country?
Let's talk about advanced courses.
Advanced courses. Go ahead.
Property
No, I
tax.
finished it. Go ahead. Advanced courses. Go ahead.
Yo, repeat the question, because this motherfucker cut you off.
Bro.
No, I got it.
No, he didn't hear it, though.
I heard the part I needed to hear the answer.
Let's talk about advanced questions.
Why you don't fuck with me, nigga?
Let's talk about advanced
Let's talk
courses.
about advanced courses.
Go ahead,
Yo, why the fuck did we get $100 bottle of Henny?
Nigga, you bought $100 bottle of Henny.
Nigga, I ain't buy it, nigga. My fucking.
But you brought it here.
Yo, shout out to Fortune 500.
Yo, for those of you who are listening, dog, yo,
Questions ain't getting answered today.
G is
Not this
absolutely
episode.
faded.
Oh my God.
Only a couple niggas can hear me right now, but G is faded.
The spirit of nigga has taken over.
Time out.
Let me help him. Right here.
Shout out to me and Fool.
Yo,
My
pull
fucking
me up a little
the
bit
research
more. Don't empty.
team.
Don't empty. it. I ain't
Research
killing
team Fortune 500 got us that big ass bottle.
Hey,
I don't
yo.
know why she panicked, nigga.
Why she get that? Yo,
Why she get that?
shout out to Fortune 500 for real.
That shit's so big.
Hey,
Yo, our next Ella dish is gonna be a green
Hey, yo, I
edition.
got the
Fuck that.
answer back to the question, though.
Yo, nigga, the next Ella edition should be a fucking green tea edition.
All right.
Cause nigga, I need to
Green
sober
tea.
up.
I think we should just let Kev answer this question
I would
and then
love to hear
we'll move
what Kev
on.
Yo, when
say.
it's sober, I'm not coming.
We
Let's
got
let Kev
we
talk.
got time constraints.
Let's let Kev talk.
I got you. I got you.
Shit,
All right, I got you. Hey, yo, excuse me. Basically, fuck it. Here's the translation.
Kevin
Why are
don't
there
fuck
smart ass
provide
niggas like me
questions, nigga.
not teaching them boss ass courses? That's what you just asked me, nigga.
I see.
And the answer is this: because I don't kiss ass.
Yo, hold on.
Yo, they
Fool,
want niggas
why
like
the
me.
fuck you
No,
ain't
hold on.
drinking
Let
drink?
Kev talk.
I'm still drunk.
I'm
tell
sorry, nigga. Pardon me,
Yo,
nigga.
Monsieur Vu, tell me if I'm lying.
Monsieur Vu ain't drink
nothing.
shit.
That's my nigga. Chill. Let my nigga get to work tomorrow.
Go ahead,
Right.
Kev. Go ahead.
Yo, back to that.
I blame
So,
Fortune 500 for
Hold
this
on,
shit,
listen, bro.
nigga.
Chill. I need you to
Why
chill.
she do this to me, nigga?
Yo, bro,
hold
I
it
need
down,
you
hold
to
it
just
down,
listen
hold it
real
down.
quick, and I'm about to force.
Go ahead, nigga. Go.
I'm about to
go
get
in,
intelligent
nigga.
for
Go
5
in,
minutes,
nigga.
and then I'm going back
Oh,
to
you
being a
get
nigga.
intelligent. My
Yeah.
fault. Let me sober up, nigga.
All right, sober up for 5 minutes and then go back to the wave.
Go ahead,
So, as a black man who off rip, I don't gotta do nothing. All they gotta do is look at me and they relate. Like they just look at me, they smell me, they like, yeah, this nigga's that
smell
nigga.
you, nigga.
Yeah, because I wear the same.
Yo, because he
deodorant
looks
they
like
wear.
them. I
I
feel
look
him.
like them.
This is what
I
I was
smell
talking about
like
when I was
them.
talking about entrepreneurs
No,
and
that
people
shit is
changing
real,
the way
bro.
businessmen look.
Nigga,
It's to
when
have
you
people
walk-
look like who,
Yo,
you know what I
you
mean? They
walk
got
Who
to
you're
see
trying to appeal
themselves.
to,
Yo,
Yeah.
walk into my room at a random time. I'm listening to the same music you listen to.
Right.
That means something.
Right.
That means
Yes.
you want
I
to
drop
come into my
references
room.
in class
Yo,
the same
there's
way.
water.
Facts. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
water. There's a water bubbler in almost every room in my school.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas come specifically to my room. Yo, can I get some water? Yo, there's water where you
Yo,
came
shout out to
from.
Kev, though. Shout
Why
out
don't
to
you just
Boo.
say?
Shout out to these
Niggas
niggas
nice.
for
Wait,
real.
hold
for
on,
being-
but I'm done. But I rash my kids and I say, why don't you just say, I want some of your water because I just wanted to say hi to you. And then they be like, you know what, Kev, you right. I just wanted to say what's up to you. And then I'll be like, do you know it's that simple? All you gotta do is just walk in and say,
Closed
I
mouths
just
don't
wanted to
get
say
fed.
what up. And then I'm gonna be like, yo, I fuck with you too. You be surprised what's on the other side of that question mark. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but I hear you. So like,
So,
yo,
but wait,
I
experience.
want
not
to
your
answer
answer.
the. Can I answer the
Back to
question?
the
Yo,
answer.
let Food talk.
No. Let me get
Fool ain't
30
answering
Let
no
him
seconds.
finish it, and then it's going to go to Pooh, and then it's going to go to Boo.
you know what?
Yo,
Go ahead,
back-
fool.
All right.
Yo,
I'm
let
just-
Food
No, let-
talk. Man.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet.
Go ahead.
The reason that you have this disparity is because the property taxes in poor communities can't sustain the
No,
need.
nigga, it's because we ain't teaching our kids to fucking buy property to even have a property fucking tax.
We were
nigga.
talking about
Well,
advanced
yo,
placement courses, though.
I agree.
No, that's a good
No,
disclosure.
no. Actually, Kev, you threw me at alley-oop. I actually agree with you. We're not teaching our kids, but those things like
And
finance,
advanced placement courses is where it should happen.
those things like
That's my point.
finance that are maybe taught in suburban schools are not being taught in inner schools.
Yo, Boo's a dummy, dog.
They're not being taught in inner schools, but you gotta understand
So the
that
niggas
the
like me
whole
who ain't kissing ass ain't teaching the classes that the niggas
the
need to
entire
teach.
paradigm, paradigm is set up that way purposely. But what I'm saying is, when you go to some of these inner city schools, like I remember, like we had to share the same, like share
Yo, when you're a
textbooks.
nigga, they don't want you
You
at
know
the
what I
highest
mean?
level courses.
Like you
at the
got
end of
two,
the day. Let's talk about
you got
that.
two, sometimes even three students sharing
Share
one
one
textbook.
book.
Fool.
So yeah,
When you are a nigga, At the highest level, they do not want you at the top. Let's talk about it.
No, you're right. And it's set up purposely that way. But even
Let's talk about that.
You gotta look at the sheer economics of it too. If you're in an affluent neighborhood, right? You're privy to more resources. So you have more resources, and because you have more resources, you have outcome. If you have less resources,
if you know how to read, you have everything you need in this country, nigga. I don't want to hear nothing.
No bullshit.
Hey, man.
You niggas know what I'm talking about.
It says Kev's right?
Okay.
Hold on.
You know how to read,
Kev,
you have everything you need. Because
Kev, I'm reading with you. I'm reading with you. But if you're looking at the literacy rates, if you look,
Education is 100% reading,
it's more than
and
just
0%
reading.
why the
Remember,
fuck you're
reading
there.
comprehension, mathematics,
application.
It's a lot of shit.
I teach math, and I can tell you don't need that shit to be a millionaire, nigga.
That's true.
That's true. But
math ain't important.
All right,
You don't need bio to be a millionaire.
Part of being a millionaire is being what you're good at and being educated and what you're good at.
Includes knowing what's important, prioritizing, and buying this property.
So let me ask y'all this question.
What's up?
A lot of people who are making billions or millions,
you talking about
in the STEM
3% of the world owning 97% of the money. What's
but
up?
they in the STEM field, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing science, technology, engineering, mathematics, right?
Let's talk
So
about
now,
it.
so y'all can front like
They're peddling
Y'all
nothing.
can front like, it's that simple. It's not that simple, bro.
We're gonna go into what can the black community do as a collective to make our children excel in the school, in the current. I'm gonna change it.
Say on dogs, y'all want me to
It says in
answer
the
that.
school system, but I want to say in the current school
Y'all don't
system, what can
fucking
black
want the
community
answer.
do as a collective?
Go ahead, Cav.
Yo,
You want the
these
answer.
niggas don't want the
fuck out of it.
Nah, you
Who
can't
want the
steal my
answer,
answer.
Kev?
All right, here's the answer. Let's start with the.
Let's start with Kev. Go
let's
ahead.
start with a reasonable solution.
I'm gonna go too.
Let's stick with everything that's going on. Right. The first thing we need to do is stop aspiring to go to these big private institutions.
I agree.
Let's start with send all our fucking kids to community college. It don't fucking matter. Hold on, watch. Here's why.
Let me hear him. Let me hear him. Let him finish.
Not that it's free. Even if
Because
you
it
pay.
save money.
Yo, let's teach our kids that it don't matter where you go, but it matters what impact you make where you go. Now, I don't know what fucking diplomas I still got, but I know wherever the fuck I taught at, them niggas want me back. And it don't matter what fucking degree I got. Y'all niggas need me at your fucking school. And when you see my fucking numbers, none of this shit fucking matters. He's fucking nice and you pay him. And when I say I want extra, y'all niggas know what y'all do. Niggas know they give me whatever the fuck I want. But guess what? It ain't enough because I'm $1 million nigga.
Ultra
$1 million nigga, dog. Come on, dog. Shit.
Nah, I hear you.
Let me let Boo go.
honestly,
Let me let Boo go.
Yo,
We gonna close
alright,
out.
So
My
what
fault.
do we? What can the
We
black
just
community
started.
do as
The
a
Henny
collective
edition just got
to make
started.
our children excel in the school system? One, what Kev said, it starts at home, right? You gotta instill this type
I
of
agree,
discipline with your
100%.
students, with your child, so that when they go to the school and there are students, that me and Kev can teach them the type of shit they need to
I
go
need to know when I call your parents
they
that
need
it
to
means
know,
some shit.
right? Exactly. That is reinforced at home.
Yo,
shout out to O, who was saying this,
Stay
that
on
you don't
dog.
get enough reinforcement at home.
Yo, Vu.
Like, yo, hold on. Let me.
Stop telling me hold on. You been telling me
Nah,
hold on all day.
he
I'm drunk.
gotta finish.
I'm drunk.
I
He gotta
hear you,
finish
my
his
nigga.
statement.
I'm
He just
trying
gotta
to
finish his
I'm
I'm
just
statement.
trying
drunk.
to
You don't
finish.
got kids that when you be like, I'm gonna call your parents, and they be like, call anyway.
Yeah. They don't
know they
give a fuck.
fucked
They don't
up
give a
at the
fuck.
crib.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I got
No,
you.
I hear you.
Yo, fool, where the fuck you going, nigga?
Yo, dog.
Yo, that nigga mad.
Your man G
Yo,
is
take his
all
mic.
types of
I
fucked up.
know. We gonna start elevating
So the
the
intern just
But-
got
How
the
you gonna
mic.
disrespect me, man?
Nobody's disrespecting. I call it how I see it, my nigga. So here's what I'm saying. It starts at home, right? But then when that student gets to school, they also need to know, listen, it's business, right? The legs feed the wolf, okay? And there's no type of the legs feed the wolf. Listen.
Legs feed the
If the
wolf.
kid is
lambs feed the wolves.
nah, the legs feed
mean
the
the
wolf.
wolves
If
eat
the
off the
kid
lambs?
doesn't want to learn, they're not gonna do it.
Yeah,
But if they
that's not
decide,
true.
That ain't true.
if the student decides today I need to do this, they're gonna do it. And
Hold
if that
on,
becomes
and if that becomes
habit, they continue to do it,
So-
regardless of whether or not
So
they
you
like
never
the
had a kid
teacher
that
or
got
not.
all F's on their report card but got an A in your class because they fuck with you. You know it's right. You know I'm right.
I'm trying to think.
You know it's
That
true.
ain't true.
Don't make me get the evidence.
Nigga, you thinking too hard.
You
nigga.
thinking hard. You know it's true.
Probably, maybe,
Always.
maybe. But even still, Yo, even if they get an A in my class and they get 4 other Fs, they're not gonna make it.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, yo, come
you
on.
get
How?
4 Fs, you get an A in Kev's
Yo,
class.
yo, Vu.
That
Let
means
me
you
get to
learned
say
something,
with you.
nigga.
Please.
That means you gonna make it.
On a mass scale.
I got this. Yo, I
But go
graduated
ahead.
high school.
We gotta get closing statements. We gotta
I
close
graduated
up.
high school with like a
Nigga, this shit just got started. They talking about closing up. These
I
niggas
went to
don't know
college.
what the fuck. I got a full
I got my
cup. We
I
ain't
fucking
mean,
gonna do
bachelor's.
this.
I guess it'll be
And I
like
went to
last episode where I
masters.
just cut
I
it
went
off.
to fucking
Cut
grad
it off
school
and then you
and
get
got
the
my
after
master's.
post episode.
So,
That's fine.
I'm just saying.
What you saying?
And I married a woman who also got her master's.
This nigga's married.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
That's my brother.
Don't
didn't know she had a
front. Don't
master's.
front
I
like,
respect
yo, just because you can't make it. Now, I know I'm a little nice right now. However,
This nigga's whack.
shut up. You know what I mean? However,
All the computers
if you dedicated and you determined, you're going to do whatever you want to do.
Okay, that's the achievement
I'm gonna be a
ideology.
$1 million nigga. That's
So if
my
they can
point.
do that as a habit, my nigga, if they can do that as a habit,
Where do you learn
that's
that
how
habit?
they start to
At
make.
home.
That's where it starts. But if
it
they
comes with
see,
the
if they
parents.
see niggas
I got
like you and me, who is like, yo, I hear your problem, but I'm not gonna let you succumb to your excuse. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
Like,
let niggas
alright.
have excuses though.
So that's perfect.
Nah,
so listen,
nah.
guys,
You gotta give them a little hope.
is
Then
there
you gotta
anything
give
food that you want to add?
Yo, I want to ask something, man. What the fuck, Rome?
Food's going before you.
This nigga fool. He was sleeping. Why would you call him out?
I mean,
Because
Why we
we're
gonna
gonna close
fucking
up.
listen to
I
a
really
nigga
wanted
that
to
ain't
mention
drink
this
nothing?
earlier,
We
but
gonna lose all our viewers.
That's
right
exactly
now,
why we
because
were
this
listening to
nigga
somebody.
opened his
But
mouth.
go ahead.
exactly. He's the most
I wanted
sober-minded
I
in
wanted
here.
to say part of the problem is not just parents and engagement, but it's the
Solutions.
actual the actual problem is with the actual structure of the education system.
No.
Since 1903 when
It's the
Dale
structure of
Carnegie
niggas
and
watching
John D.
Disney.
Rockefeller went in and pretty much bought the school system and gave you the production line education system, the current education system that we follow today. The production line education system is what we learn. So those
can't
things
clap.
that
No, you can clap.
that Kev talked
Super
about,
Kev, by the way.
Super Kev talked about like finance and finance and alternative education, music. Those things were actually in old school curriculums. But the reason that they're not is because they want you to have
There's
the
too
bare
much research
bones
behind it proving
understanding.
how it impacts kids in a positive
Well,
manner,
the whole
so they
thing is,
eliminated it.
people who are able to think critically can change the world critically. So,
But if you stop letting them think
if you
that way.
are,
Yes.
You
there's
eliminate critical
there's a
thinking from the
competitive
curriculum,
edge
then you got a
for
bunch of
the.
robots.
Hold on, Kev. There's a competitive edge for elites to keep the populace stupid,
Right,
and that's why
yep.
I'm saying, like, get into my Illuminati. You know what I mean? Get into my
Listen,
Illuminati.
Whoa.
That's
Easy
what I'm
now.
saying.
This nigga.
Easy now.
I
I just came
I
from
look
church.
with done.
I'm not
Yo,
ready to hear the
yo,
Illuminati
yo,
shit today.
That's
Okay?
Not
it.
today. That was last
Yo,
episode.
Rome, can I say something before we...
Nah, listen. Thank you both, first of all, Kev and Vu, for coming through.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
y'all's
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I
Appreciate
appreciate you
being
guys
here.
being positive role models in the kids' lives that you're
Appreciate
in.
it.
I
being
respect
here.
that a lot, man. Y'all keep doing
No,
what y'all do.
I gotta
more
cut it
months.
off. I'm sorry, and I really appreciate you. I appreciate you guys' time.
Rome, you good?
If you're following us, if you've been a consistent listener, if you rock with us, always make sure you go to upanic.com. You panicked on Twitter. You panicked on Facebook. That's UPANICD. You panic. It's you panic.
Niggas panic today. He just
Mad
panicked.
niggas panic. This is episode 10. Celebration. We talked about education. Celebration to Kev. That's it. That's it. It's you panic. You panic.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next week. Easy.
Baby, I got what you need. Break it down, I blow them tricks. The way that they talk about me. You think them niggas know me? I'm rockin' gold, oh yeah, you know. Fresh and fuck a hat, go. I hear you hating on the love. Player, you should let it go. I'm not your regular degular. Don't call my cellular. Then I do what I wanna do. Move how I wanna move. All the drugs I'ma do. Don't worry about me, boo. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Look at my rhymes, aight. Look at my watch and the way that I hang. Put you on game, aight. I never complain about this shit. Once I make the moves, we make it flip. Ay, pull up in the Lexus, why they always checking? Bitch, I go and get it, I been back progression. I'm from Roberry to slums. I pull up, then you get numb. You ain't matching, you smoke none. Ay, you ain't matching, you smoke nothing. School ain't for me, got the hustling. Ain't about money, no discussioning. Ay, I got what you need, just hit the match, yo, easy busy. Baby, I got what you need. Break it down, I blow them tricks. The way that they talk about me. You think them niggas know me? I'm rockin' gold, oh yeah, you know. Fresh as fuck a hat, go. I hear you hating on the love. Player, you should let it go. I'm not your regular degular. Don't call my cellular. I do what I wanna do. Move how I wanna move. All the drugs I'ma do. Don't worry about me, boo. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Boy, you was way out of pocket. If you hating, you should stop it. Pull up, I know I'm the topic. Cause nigga, I got it. You saying that I'm what you need now. Put me on speed, dawg. I'm probably on speed now. I remember nights when it wasn't lights, wasn't shit to eat, nothing going right. Got to the woods, come back to the hood. Now I'm living good and I'm eating good. I'm not your regular degular. Bitch, I'm so stellar. And you so dusty now. That's why you